Good evening, Nation. Welcome to another episode of Rogue Nation. Episode, what are we on?
43.
43. Nice. Tonight I got the Red Ranger Joe.
What's up?
I've just decided he's just going to be known as Two Speed. Just Two Speed.
Zero.
But I like bards.
All right, Two Speed Bard.
Okay, there we go.
We got the Two Speed Bard here. I got the God Duba podcast
Hey.
here, Kevin. I got the Toy Hunter Jeff back
What's
again
up?
for another episode.
Welcome back.
I'm your Herald of Thunder. We got a lot of info tonight. We got a lot of news. Got some interesting stuff to talk about. Got a lot of comics to talk about. We were about a week behind because my dumbass went on vacation. Got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Hopefully we get to half of it. So tonight, let's lead off with how's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay?
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the big news now, or do we want to leave it for the end of the show?
I did buy an iPad, so yeah, that is big news.
Yeah.
He was
Two
Team
Speed
Android.
Bard finally bought an iPad after salivating over ours forever, and now he's like,
Yeah, and George has shit on Apple products for as long as I've known him.
he's embarrassed. It's good. It's fine. He's embarrassed that he bought it.
100%.
He knows his place. He's got it.
But yeah, y'all probably have a bunch of toy news.
It's too much, but I mean, we could.
Hit the highlights.
I mean, hell, we even posted a bunch on the Instagram.
I was trying to finish, and I fell asleep. I literally fell asleep.
Even now that all of you and Jeff know, I myself don't care much for Pops,
Right.
and a lot caught my attention. A lot were really fucking cool.
Let's go. Which ones? Go.
The boys one, Homelander looks awesome.
With the
Oh,
glow
the
in
glow
the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then those Avenger ones look cool. The Glow in the Dark
video
Thor.
games. Those are-
Yeah, Glow in the Dark Thor looked cool, really, really cool.
Yep.
The one that caught me off guard was Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, cool.
Yeah.
I thought that they were dope. And I can't remember what else really comes to mind now. What were you
For
guys
me, it
favorites?
was the Mighty Duck Pops. I popped.
That
them.
was surprising. I thought that
I
was
was
pretty
like,
dope.
oh my god. Although I like the second movie uniforms better, but I mean, whatever.
They'll get to it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No one fuck
Can
up
you
that.
imagine they make them
They'll
cases?
get to it.
Like the second
Oh,
alternate uniforms
That'd be
cases?
good.
Oh my God.
That'd be
No,
good
it'll
too
be
much.
hard.
Yeah, it'll be too much.
All of my hero ones were absolutely for me.
Right, and a bunch of Dragon Ball came out.
Yeah.
Oh
Even
god,
more
so
Dragon Ball.
much Dragon Ball that even I'm like, that's a little much.
How much more Dragon Ball can come out?
Right.
I mean, there's a multiverse now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So,
there's so much.
They can keep going.
The zombie Marvel ones.
Zombie Marvel, Aftermath Zombie Marvel was really cool, specifically Wolverine. There's something about Wolverine's look with the claws popped out and him salivating. It looks so cool.
What grabbed me was Mysterio.
Yeah, with the
brain,
yeah.
Just a big brain.
Mysterio looked really cool.
Really cool. Bunch of Disney stuff. Bunch of
I've
Pokemon.
Got more for me, more Looney Tunes stuff, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a big collector of the Looney Tunes.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. I don't usually
Yeah.
do Back to the Future, but I'm contemplating getting this one.
I am.
Is this the first time anything that's dubbed like Amazon franchise or like Amazon anything that gets a pop, which is The Boys?
I think so. Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
I don't think Mrs. Maisel has anything. I don't think Jack Ryan has anything.
Right, exactly. Because I'm trying to think
yeah.
of like what's like their bigger properties, and I'm like,
I think this is the
Man in
first
High
one.
Castle, but that just ended. Jack
Yeah.
Ryan would be the biggest thing I could think of is Tom Clancy.
Yeah,
But the boys was
But The Boys was
hit.
yeah, that was a huge hit for Amazon.
and I think would it
That's what you
be in a comic
Yeah.
book, it lends itself to being pops.
Maisel would be cool, but that in and onto itself is so nichey.
Right, and I don't know if the Venn diagram crosses.
Right.
You know, and for people who collect pops who also watch,
I mean, my wife would dig like especially Maisel and all the different outfits.
at least right. Mm-hmm.
But that's literally like the only person that
That's
comes
about
to
it,
mind
yeah.
that likes Maisel and likes Pops.
Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like you said, it's so niche. It's like
Yeah.
probably not worth it.
The Homelander ones are. It's funny because like it's true. It would be Homelander. Like, he got like 2 pops.
yeah.
He got like 2 position
He
pops.
gets the flying one and the one with his laser eyes about to shoot off. His
That's-
hands behind his back.
Which
Yeah.
is
That cold pose of his.
that's the one that caught me.
Yeah.
Oh,
me too.
100%.
When I think of the
I
show,
remember
that's what I
She
meant.
got 3.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
Starlight did get
She
3.
got 3.
Go to the dark.
Right, 'cause
Chase.
it's the outfit.
She's essentially
Chase,
the POV character of the series.
Her and what's his name?
Butcher. Butcher's is the main
Butcher.
character, but he only got 1 because he just looks like Carl Urban
What's
unshaved.
the one that likes her? What's his name?
Maeve?
I call him Aquaman.
No.
No.
Aquaman.
No, the regular.
Yeah, the regular kid.
The regular guy.
Quaid.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, Jack Quaid's. I forget.
I forgot his character name.
I think it's like Andy or something.
Dewey or some shit like that.
Dewey.
Yeah,
Something like that.
He got a pop.
Yeah.
I was gonna say dopey.
I mean,
close
Wrong
enough.
franchise?
Yeah. I like how translucent looks.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
To make him look
Yeah.
see-through. I thought that was cool.
we got Cobra Kai pops,
Yeah.
Flintstone pops,
Well,
Pokemon
funny thing
pops.
regarding the translucence,
It's too much.
one of the My Hero ones gets a translucent power, and they have her like that as well.
Oh, but
That's right.
if they did it right though, they would have done they would have done like a 2-pack for translucent with Huey. That was his name.
Huey.
With Huey and then a cage, and it was supposed to be translucent in the cage,
Oh.
but no cage with nothing in it.
No, just all pop with the empty box.
Well, that's what they
it.
did with
Yeah.
what they did with Jan Brady or something like that, where they did her and her imaginary friend,
Oh, they did.
and it was
do
just
that.
Jan Brady. There was nothing else in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Just not an empty box. He's in there.
It would still sell. That's,
Yeah.
that's the sad thing.
Yeah.
I was
It
actually
would.
surprised they're doing Fight Club pops. To be honest with you, I thought that was interesting.
Really?
I love Fight Club.
They've been doing a couple movies for a while.
When did we get
movies
this-
outside of like
Fight
comic
Club.
book
I mean, how
movies?
old is
I
Fight
don't
Club? I mean,
But
shit.
They
it's a
did
classic
Beverly Hills
regard.
Cop.
Yeah, with
What-
people
what
who buy
book is
pops,
this?
I'm pretty sure.
So it's another game one. It's from the game.
So,
So like
okay,
it's
so
one of the
this Hulk is
skins,
from
the
the
Hulk.
game.
You can change the Hulk. His name's we're getting the Marvel Legend of him too. Outback Hulk is what they're calling him. But it's from the game reverse. It's
Okay.
the game
I like the
reverse.
Wonder Woman golden armor with the wings.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
she looks dope. All her pops look good.
No, I can't remember if it was Toy Con or that's what it was called. It was Toy Fair or Toy Con?
Toy-
Yeah, Toy Fair was
Toy Fair.
this weekend.
I can't remember if it was around the same time or before. We are actually getting a white God Doom pop.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
That's like legit?
Oh, that's
um,
for ECC.
Yeah,
But no, but he's talking
that's
about
Emerald
that
City
used-
Comic Con.
Right.
Yeah.
That's coming up or that already
that's
came
coming
out?
up.
March.
Comes up in March.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Second week in March. What is it?
I believe it's the second week.
Yeah.
That's like an obsession of mine of that
Mhm.
Hickman's Secret
Yes,
Wars
yes.
and that
That's a
iconic
must-have.
imagery of
Yeah.
white God Doom. That's incredible.
What's gonna hurt? It's Target, and me and Jeff know very
Yeah,
well.
It's gonna be tough.
We get to Target. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. What came out today?
Oh
And then
my
we're
God.
like-
what? They act like they act the fool.
Oh,
Yeah.
they act like,
Act the fool, or they just don't know. One or the other.
right. Oh, we didn't get them,
combination of the two.
Probably a combination.
and then we got to
There's-
drive around.
There's several YouTube videos to explain what they do at Target that are actually pretty funny from people who are just making skits. You know, like the one I watched was like a guy who's doing both, he's playing himself and he's playing the Target employee.
Yeah.
Yes,
and he does the one where he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Funko. And then he goes back and you see him like dancing in the back with all the toys.
It's that big of a deal that it's actually been
Yeah.
memed and made videos of.
Yeah.
I love speaking of meme, I love that meme that Joe sent us of my wallet and then like this giant incoming storm
Yeah.
and it's like all the pops announced at Toy Fair.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was gonna stick to only the My Hero pops, but so many other ones caught my eye. From the Ghostbusters to the Back to the Future to the Fight Club to everything. I'm just like the
Yeah.
boys.
When you sent back,
Oh,
oh,
man.
share them. I was like, oh no, you don't want to wave.
I mean, I was already getting the wave because it was all over Twitter.
Yeah.
It was like happening in real time. They were posting all these crazy things. And the weird thing is on Twitter, you don't get like the page that we posted on our Instagram of just like all of them in one image.
Mhm.
On Twitter, it's just like one pop at a time.
Yeah, I try to make it easier, but
Find the group pics. Yeah.
I can't. So Ghostbusters came out.
It's cool,
Marvel
man.
Legends, Turtles, a bunch of Turtle stuff came out. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't.
The other thing that really caught my eye outside of Marvel Legends was the McFarlane.
Yes.
Since they have DC now,
Mhm.
they actually are doing Batman White Knight figures.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and Sean Gordon Murphy's one of my favorite artists. So to get and it's his Joker, it's his Batman, and his Azrael from the current run,
Mhm.
Curse of the White Knight right now,
Mhm.
and they look amazing. So those are must-haves for me.
Yeah, I also saw other figures announced or shown, and it was a bunch of like the Bruce Timm art
Yep.
figures.
Yep.
And
Yeah, those are the ones I'm looking for.
and apparently, it's just funny because Tom Taylor tweeted it of like his deceased line. They're getting at figures as well.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching a video with Pixel Dan interviewed McFarlane, Tom McFarlane, and he was explaining like he likes to go from since you've got regular Batmans everywhere else, he likes actually doing the deceased and the Curse of the White Knights.
Yeah,
the
it's
offshoots.
different.
You know, yeah, it's figures nobody has yet. You know, so he figured once he dipped his toe into the DC stuff, I'm gonna do the figures that people haven't seen yet.
It's another thing. It's like I don't collect, but it's
Right.
just something that like I admire. I just like the look of those things.
It's cool. It's just so much, and it's not even over yet. Toy Fair doesn't end until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I thought it was done.
No,
Not yet.
no.
I can't even. Can you imagine being pressed and covering that?
Well, most of them
In
just
New
do the days they need for what they
Right.
collect. So you don't. Yeah, if you try to get everything, it's
Yeah.
too much.
They did the Lego run, and there really wasn't
Oh.
anything exciting except for the Razor Crest and the Lego run. Because I was looking at what they had for Lego.
Oh,
a lot of
Lambo
small,
shit.
yeah, there's a lot of small stuff, but we are getting the Razor Crest as
For
well.
Lego, but for Mega Constructs from Mattel, we're getting a lot of Masters in Lego form.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're getting the Battle Ram, we're getting the Sky Ride. What do you call those?
Yeah,
the Sky Sleds.
Sky Sleds, yeah.
Sky Sleds, the Wind Raider. They're thinking about a Snake Mountain because there's a Gray Skull already.
There's a Gray Skull, yeah, I've seen that.
They're thinking of Snake Mountain, but nothing confirmed. And I forgot the what was it? The van with the tracks,
Attack Track.
Attack Track. That's coming out too. So a lot from He-Man. A whole lot of shit from He-Man came
Well, a
out
lot's
today.
going on with
Today.
He-Man, which we're gonna get to more of that later. But as far as toys go,
That's-
so
I mean,
there was a ton of stuff going on. I tried to keep an eye on it, but I couldn't really keep most kind of. It's like, okay, well, the pops obviously were just populating the feed,
Mhm.
but I was like, what about some of this other stuff? And I had to go looking for it.
Yeah.
But like the Bruce Timm inspired stuff, like
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to that stuff, and I like looking at the Marvel Legends. I don't collect them, but
Yeah.
whenever someone comes along, like I'm still waiting for the Cosmic Ghost Rider Marvel Legend that they were supposed to do with the bike.
You know, I literally just picked. I got that yesterday.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I
finally
ordered
out?
it on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
It's
didn't
out.
get it in store yet.
Okay.
So,
It's
but
just
you can get it on Amazon.
Okay, I'll
GameStop
order
wants so much money for it. Don't
Yeah,
buy it from GameStop.
I got kind of lucky. You check now because I ordered it Friday and it was for $52, and I had a $25 gift card,
Oh,
so I paid $27 for a $70 figure. So it worked out.
Jesus.
It looks great.
Yeah, I haven't even opened it yet.
Oh, yeah,
I haven't opened it yet. I should. I was thinking like, should I do a video? Should I not?
Yeah. Do it.
I didn't do a video.
Instagram
I figured that's why I haven't opened it yet. I was like, I'm probably
Yeah,
gonna
on
do a video.
IGTV.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's probably what.
Yeah, this is the 51.
Okay, yeah, it's even cheaper than what it was. It was 52 for me.
Yeah, 51.
So,
51.
I think the regular price is
I say
when
if
it first came up there, it was like $79.99.
I say if you're on it,
So-
if you want it, you buy it now
Probably get it now, yeah,
because it's gonna go.
And like how it always happens in South Florida, they seem to never hit the stores.
Right. I haven't seen one yet.
Like,
Or they'll hit a comic book store, but like 6 months later,
Yeah.
it'll be $120. Like I'll probably wait and see if I can pick it up at the con. See what I can
oh,
do.
there you go. Yeah,
There you go.
Because if they're popular, they'll be everywhere at the con.
yeah.
That's true. They'll have them all stocked. I'm like, we were waiting to sell them at the con, and then by Sunday they'll be like, take these motherfuckers, please. Nobody wants them.
$25.
Hey, you can't beat it.
That's the cool thing about some conventions. Like people overestimate.
Yeah.
And that's where the kid kind of gets into your favor. I've watched it happen a couple of times. If you stay till Sunday, you can get some. If you keep an eye on something, you see something there. Like you go on Friday and you see something. Oh, I like that, and it's still there Saturday when you leave. There's a good chance Sunday night you're going to be able to go over to that guy and go, "You want $50 for that? I give you 35." And I'll go, just take the motherfucker because they don't want to take any of that shit home.
Yeah.
Trust me, a seller's goal is to sell everything in his booth and go home with just cash in his pocket. Yeah. So beyond that, I guess we can move on. Do we want to get into just go ahead and get into comics now? Because there's a lot of news to talk about.
Yeah,
So,
we might as well.
yeah, all right.
Knock the comments out.
Let's see.
I think we all got picks this time.
Yeah, we're all pretty loaded. Yeah, in a good way.
Did you finally get it?
So, let's see. I'll start because I read Wolverine #1
Okay.
and give everybody a chance to kind of get their shit together.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it.
Wolverine, I thought it was great. I love Wolverine. Wolverine's
Agreed.
one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
So
Same.
Wolverine's been one of my favorite characters since I was a kid.
So in Wolverine #1, we got two stories.
Yeah.
Is there any reason why?
I don't know. I thought it was,
And they're not
mistake
even
when I-
connecting.
No, they
No.
really well. In
sort
a
of.
way, they do because you get the little blurb at the beginning about Wolverine's blood, but that really doesn't have any effect on the first story
Until the
until
second
the second
story.
story. and then you get the blurb at the end of the second story about the pollen, which has more to do with the first story. So, but here's the thing: they don't tell you who wrote or drew the second story because
because it says Benjamin Percy on both.
But
on the second story, it reintroduces issue number 1, Wolverine again, but with a different title of Catacombs.
Who's to say for artist though?
It doesn't say artist. It only says Benjamin Percy.
Yeah.
Because we were talking, it's very, very much reminiscent of Greg Capullo.
It looks just like Capullo's work.
Because the way I got it, I mean, I'm reading it.
I get you, especially the design of the vampires in the second story.
And then you get to the second story, for me.
Yeah, you'll see the big splash page of 1. See,
yeah, there you go.
And Catacombs. It says Catacombs. Look, it does give our artist.
Oh,
but I thought this is the first story because they don't give you one for the first story. I thought that the end of
they don't give you one for the first story.
Yeah, I thought that was this one.
But it does give you a name. Yeah, go. No, that's the prologue.
Okay.
And there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, the Flower Cartel.
Oh,
I have to admit,
I scroll over.
Yeah.
I have to admit, that's a really cool name for a cartel, the Flower Cartel. It doesn't really strike like fear in someone's head,
right?
But like you kind of have to think of what does that entire?
Right. It's intriguing.
Yeah, and in this world of the way the X-Men are set up and the drugs and everything, and every human knowing about it because of Xavier's mass text message. It's just
Mass mind message.
Mass mind message.
The artist would be Victor Bogdanovic
for the first story.
For the second story,
first
story it's Adam Cooper.
Okay,
that's clearly Adam Cooper.
Yeah,
that's Adam Cooper all the way.
Victor Von Donovan draws like Greg Capullo.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Actually, I'm going to look him up now and see because he's got to have been on.
Yeah.
So let's go in order. So the first story is the Flower Cartel.
Yeah.
About the whole thing about the pollen, whatever. And I like how the way the story is told. Of it starts kind of like in this middle, and then each subsequent couple of panels is 3 days ago.
Right.
Then it gets how did they get to that point? 2 days ago, 1 day ago. But I like how the point of view is it's always Wolverine.
Yeah.
And it's just a typical X-Force story.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, this thing is happening. It's another threat. Go figure it out. Take the team and go figure it out. But I like how we got the human side of that detective. And was it just me? Or does he look a lot like Jonathan Hickman?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
he looks just like Jonathan Hickman, like the long hair, and the bushy beard, and it's like this whitish gray fade to like gray and darker gray.
It probably is him.
Yeah, and I like the way he's even dressed, and how
super chill.
Yeah, super chill in this really professional setting.
They even make a comment about it. It's like, don't you guys have a dress code for the CIA, right?
No, DEA or something like that.
He's some organization, and he's like, yeah, I think better when I'm company.
Yeah,
so it's like, okay.
To me, that's why it screamed. I'm like, I think Benjamin Percy is trying to take a jab at Jonathan Hickman, especially bro. It looks like it.
Yeah.
It gave me a what's it called? Hopper vibe from Stranger Things. Yeah. Just his whole kind of...
To me, it gave me Lebowski vibes.
Oh, fair enough.
I think in the book, someone calls him Lebowski.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's probably exactly what they were going for.
But I can't remember what starts that off. Oh, people are dying using the pollen. Because this supposed flower cartel is like... what would be the word? Like literally, not weaponizing it, like turning it into a drug.
Yeah.
But somehow it's lethal to humans.
They're taking it, and it's causing them to kind of basically overdose, but it gives them powers.
It makes them feel like they have powers.
Yeah. Well, it gives them abilities for a short amount of time because it eventually burns them out.
Because once it gets to, I think the day of or whatever, when the X-Force team actually go through the gate of where something is coming from. It's the Cult of X, the Order of X. I'm sorry, which they are a bunch of cultists, anyways. And then they all take it. They're like, "Oh, take our blood," and then they're like, they want to suck Omega Kid's blood for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
Well, they believe that the whole Order of X is that they worship mutants because they view mutants
as gods,
as the next evolution. But eventually, some of them get so zealot-wise that they feel that they have to consume them
Yeah.
And that's where that's leading, is like they get crazed by the drugs so that they can take on them.
But I like how like they say that like the Order of X is not like a religion, like a widespread religion. It's all like different factions and different degrees of overzealousness.
Yeah.
So like some are even literally like carving crosses on their chest or face. But like in this one, the one that we
Was it crosses or X's?
X's.
It's X's.
X's. They do it over their
like
eye,
crosses.
but the most common place is over the mouth.
Over the mouth, yeah. And I'm like, what an interesting like detail that like this early version of a so-called pseudo religion would also have so many different variations.
But yeah, the way this book starts, I mean, the way Wolverine looks at the beginning of this book,
it's so grotesque,
and just and he has no idea what's going on. All he knows is he thinks he's killed his friends.
Yeah, he's like, where, when, and I like how he goes over like his name, Logan, James, Wolverine.
But just to watch as he's getting up, the fact that his everything's growing back, it's just I just love this.
Yeah. So for some context, it's just audio. Wolverine, the issue starts with Wolverine waking up in the snow, literally all battered and torn up. And I like how every other panel, he regains more tissue. And it's like, it's such an also subtle detail. But he's trying to, it's also showing like the amnesiatic factor to Wolverine, besides his healing factor of every time he goes, into like, let's say battle, and he's always, battle worn out. He is always having to remember, okay, what just happened? What's going on? And he starts remembering other past trauma.
Yeah, because he has to piece things together, and then all the pain that he has
every time
is coming back.
Yeah, and I thought that was so cool to just disorientate the reader along with the character.
Yeah.
So, but this whole first story really kind of shows an action, but really, like you said, Kevin, really illustrates the idea that a lot of these things happen to him. And I guess it's basically what he just said. So, but the book ends with him still trying to figure out who he is, because the last panel is, these people walking up to him going, "Who do you think? Who are you?" And he's like, "I was wondering the same thing."
Yeah.
So, but he's looking. He was told somewhere. But it was the Russian in the bar. They told him it was the pale girl that gave him the drugs.
Right.
And then he's looking for the pale girl, and he sees a vision of her. And then, but that's when all these people walk up and are like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I've been wondering the same thing."
Yeah.
But then you get to the second story, which...
Well, but hold up. I'm sorry. Before you jump to the second story, I like the tidbits since you brought up the whole Russian one. I like how that confrontation where he's like, you're worried that mutants or we are going to come to you. That's why you have the dampeners. They're like, the dampeners aren't for you. It's for the pale girl. Because
she makes
her over. Yeah, her apparently her ability is, if you look at her eyes or something like that, she turns people crazy and cause self-harm.
No, I saw it more as she can cause them to do things, not necessarily self-harm.
Against the
she has a suggestion power.
Defy your own.
Right, but then the way she, I guess, fights is she just makes them kill themselves or hurt themselves.
Yeah, right. When you have the power of suggestion, the easiest thing to do is tell you to kill yourself.
That's right, and then the Russian that Wolverine's talking to, he has a fucked up eye because of what she made him do.
Oh yeah, because he made him burn his own eye out in the socket.
Put a lighter to his eye and let it liquid.
Crazy. And then that's what shows us the 2 days ago one, the Jonathan Hickman looking agent, DEA agent, where he comes into a crime scene where they're all mutilated themselves. And he's like, this is all self-inflicted.
He's trying to get some of the mutant drug because
his daughter's sick.
Yeah. And he knows they could cure him, but she's on like a wait list or something to get it.
And he's unhappy that these people are stealing it and using it to make a drug.
I like that. We get not only the human element, but we sympathize for the human element of the story.
Yeah.
So I dug that. I really, really thought that was cool. Yeah. If it was kind of like, damn, what was that other book? The Fallen Angels, where there's like a drug or some kind of, techno whatever babble, like some kind of plot device, like a thing that they have to go get.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just that, like Fallen Angels, I would have not cared for that first story. But because of the human element, the way the story was told, and then the big mystery of who is this pale girl, I was like, okay, I kind of bought into the story.
Okay.
Because I was with, like you, Justin, that we talked off air of, I think I like the second story more.
I do. The second story, I like it more because it deals with something that I think ties in better with the Marvel Universe. The second story has Wolverine kind of exploring Krakoa, kind of treating it as a danger room because it's constantly changing and constantly. And in his mind, and Wolverine he keeps saying he's been charged with defending Krakoa.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in the middle of everything, he's talking about how he's got friends, how he has friends dealing with former enemies, and he's got people on the talking about Jean Grey and Magneto talking to each other like they've been buddies forever.
Yeah.
And then Apocalypse was once trying to destroy the world and is now trying to save it, apparently. But we know that Apocalypse has ulterior motives. But that's just from Wolverine's perspective. But and then you've got all the kids and everything on the island. But it's seemingly he's like, this place we can't get too comfortable because that's when shit happens. And then in the middle of it all, Omega Red comes through one of the gates. And he's all battered and fucked up. And Wolverine's immediately like, let's kill him and get him out of here.
And covered in blood.
Yeah. And Wolverine's about ready to go after him, and Magneto stops him. He's like, don't you realize what this place is? Come on, he's one of our brothers. He's like, you don't understand. It's Omega Red. He's a killer. And they end up locking him up and trying to figure out what's going on. But meanwhile, Magneto throws Wolverine through the gate like, you go figure out what the hell happened to him.
But I like the confrontation, like to kind of extend that justice when he says, like, some of us are going to think, he's a psychopath. He's beyond, redemption or even rehabilitation. And Magneto's like, there are those that would say the same about us, too.
Yeah. Well, Wolverine is very much struggling with the idea that him and Omega Red are very similar in the way they are.
Yeah, Omega Red is essentially Wolverine without the conscience or the moral compass.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So he ends up finding a trunk, a wrecked car and a trunk full of dead bodies. And he ends up... But here's the thing that gets me is like he keeps going back to Krakoa and they keep sending him back out. Like, go back out there and figure it out more. Yeah. Meanwhile, Dr. Reyes is, going to fix up Omega Red. And then Wolverine keeps coming back and reporting to Magneto, telling him, well, no, this guy's a killer. And Magneto's like, you got to figure out what else is going on. There's more to this than just what you think. So he keeps sending him back. Wolverine eventually goes to Omega Red, starts talking to him. Omega Red's like, look, maybe it's not me. Maybe, do you ever think that maybe I'm in trouble too? And he's like, nah, you're a killer. Yeah, because
he confronts him about like, yo, there's bodies in your car.
He's like, well, what if I didn't kill him? He's like, he's baiting him.
Yeah. Instead of telling him, the actual truth, he's just like, go figure it out yourself. Because Wolverine wouldn't accept the truth.
No. You have to push him.
Exactly.
So he goes back. He gets the name of this place called the King's Oubliette. It's a bar. He goes there. He meets this girl out front, shoves some flowers in his face, and he likes her, but she's seemingly not interested at the time. He goes inside. It's a fucking vampire bar. Okay? Which the last thing in the world I thought I would ever see Wolverine go up against, though, is vampires.
Right.
But then again, I say the same thing about the Avengers, so whatever. So he figures out, holy shit, everybody in here is dead. This is a fucking vampire bar. And they drugged him enough in what he was drinking for him to pass out long enough for him to tie him up. And then, they're like, oh, we're going to drink from him. And he ends up starting to try to kill everybody. Well, they're going to drink from him, but they're going to tap his neck like a fucking beer keg.
Yeah.
And pour drinks out of it.
I thought that was such a comic-y touch. It was so funny.
So he pops his claws and starts killing people who are already dead. And then the chick who from out front shows up, and she's a vampire hunter. And she's got a
UV cannon.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was looking for. UV cannon. She frees him. He goes, and then he goes back to talk to Omega Red again. And then, meanwhile, that's juxtaposed with the morgue with all the people that he killed who are now coming back because they're all vampires.
Yeah.
And
I think it's not those bodies. I think those bodies are the ones that were in Omega Red's...
in the trunk. The trunk of the car. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because Wolverine knows to behead them.
Yeah, because, the action goes out of its way in every panel to show he's beheading, and then the girl is burning them with the UV cannon.
Yeah. So he goes back to find the girl. The girl, you find out, is a vampire hunter.
She looks like a Templar.
She does, actually. She offers him all these weapons. He's like, I'm good, with his claws. They end up going into a catacombs to fight. Well, they end up getting succumbed by a trap, and he ends up, like, reversing it, so he falls on the stakes. And he's like, "Don't worry about me," because she doesn't know he's gonna heal.
Yeah.
They end up taking on the vampires as much as they can, but they capture the girl, and they're like, they made the trade. It's like, "We'll let her live if you give us what we want." I said, "What do you want?" So we want to drink from you. We want your blood. So they do. He does. They do, and then they take off. And even she's like, it's weird that they just took off like that. They shouldn't have just done that. And then they end up, it's like, yeah, but I took out their leader. They're afraid. They're going back to their group. It's like, that wasn't their leader. Their leader's Dracula. And you see him sitting on a throne, and he's being fed by the blood. Basically all those vampires give up their life and the blood they just drank to feed Dracula. You see all these tubes going into Dracula. And then in the next panel, you see that Omega Red's been released, and he's been used by Dracula to get Wolverine's blood so that he can become young again.
Yeah.
And then, but he tells him, he's like, you join, he basically says, he gives him what he wants, which is the carbonizer, chromium synthesizer, which keeps Omega Red alive so he doesn't have to kill. But he says there's a detonation device inside, so basically you work for me now. He's like, you can join them, but you obey me. And that's where the book ends.
Which is really weird because he even mentions Omega Red to Wolverine. It's like, hey, look, on Krakoa, it provides whatever sustenance you need. So he really didn't necessarily need that if he just stayed on Krakoa.
But he doesn't know if that's going to help him or not.
Wow.
He said that in the way of like, I heard that Krakoa provides you whatever substance you need. I'm hoping that me being here doesn't mean or means that I don't need that anymore. But you never get an answer to that. You just get him leaving and then finding out he's working for Dracula. Now, the thing that brings up for me is, and I know I mentioned to you guys before we started recording, is does this tie into the Avengers Dracula and vampire storyline that they did, where at the end of those Avengers issues, Dracula got a vampire nation in Chernobyl? So are these the same vampires?
I would say no. No, it has to be disconnected because this Dracula was for one reason or another in Paris, and not just anywhere. He wasn't like even in the outskirts. Yeah, because where Logan goes to, it was Champs-Élysées.
Yeah, but they just flew off. They could have flown off.
They could have flown back to
Chernobyl. They just flew off. It doesn't say. There's no sign saying where they're at.
They are in France.
Well, no, Wolverine and them are in France, and when he gets drank, but when they leave, you have no idea where they go when they left.
Who?
The vampires.
After they drank
Wolverine, you have no idea where they went. They just flew
off. Fine, yeah. But that's kind of, I don't know, I find that kind of silly of what, like,
but I don't...
Holding in that blood and then making that, like, march to wherever Chernobyl, like, that far distance to Chernobyl.
I don't know, they turn into bats. That's not that far.
God damn it.
They're vampires.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Kevin hates supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
But he's not going to accept it.
I know, it's fine. But I can't think it's a coincidence that you have Dracula become the head of the vampire nation in Avengers.
Yeah.
And then now they're using Dracula as the head of the vampire nation in the X-Men.
Right.
There's got to be a connection. That is what I'm saying. There's got to be a connection. And I would like it better if there was. Like, this is not just, I like the over there, I'm going to do it over here.
We've got Empire coming up, right? But that's not a Dracula thing.
No, it's a cosmic event.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe there's an event coming up Marvel Universe will have to deal with Dracula. And this.
Well, if you read, it seems like, okay, Jason Aaron is setting up a whole bunch of shit to kind of pay off later. That's kind of the way he works.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read like the first bunch of issues of the Avengers, you can see where he's building, like he's putting this piece over here, this piece over here, and he even refers to it. What was that book we read where it was Daredevil? It was the end of
War of Realms.
War of Realms, where Daredevil still has the ability of Heimdall. Thank you. And he's going through and he's seeing the future events of the Avengers, and he talks about the war with the vampires, the race of the Ghost Riders, which we just got, and then he talks about other things too. Because remember, he's also set up a super team in Russia, and then he set up a super team
with the Red Widow,
and then he set up a super team underwater, and then he set up the Squadron Supreme of America. So he's set up a super team on almost every continent now for the Avengers to kind of clash with. So he's kind of pushing everything, and now on top of all those super teams, you've got this vampire nation that's sitting in its own nation of Chernobyl.
So I'm going to assume it's connected.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Assume it's connected.
Maybe he's like, can I borrow this for now?
Right.
It won't overly affect your storyline, but I can use it for what I need. Maybe, who knows? Or maybe he just did it thinking I liked what was happening here, and I'm going to take what I like from it.
Are the X-Men? Do we know if the X-Men stories are going to be intertwined with the Empire stuff?
Oh, I don't
Yes.
They're
know.
gonna be outside.
Yeah,
They are?
there was covers in some solicitation,
Okay.
like April or May or whatever,
Okay.
and there was like Empire X-Men, Empire X-Force, shit like that.
And we know they're connected because you have the X-Force, or excuse me, the Fantastic Four X-Men crossover
Yeah,
that they're doing.
yeah.
And then
I mean,
weren't the Captain America involved with the first couple of issues of the
Yeah.
X-Men books too?
Yeah.
So,
And then, yeah, the New Mutants still in space.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
George is on that.
No,
Not
Oh, you
anymore.
dropped it.
I dropped it after like 3 issues. I was like, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
I still dig those covers though.
The covers are nice. But
Yeah,
that's the only thing nice about it.
yeah.
So that's Wolverine. Good first issue. I did like the vampire story a little bit more than I liked the first story.
Yeah.
I have to admit, and it's funny because I don't think I would have, like George said, like I don't want like gimmicky supernatural stuff. I want Wolverine as the killing machine or a man on a redemptive arc. But then there's him clashing with vampires. I have to admit, it was really dope.
Mm-hmm.
And like how Jeff said, the art does look a lot like Capullo,
It really does.
especially the vampire designs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I really like that art.
Like, yeah, especially with the pale look and give a Joker vibe.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Yeah,
that's
and there was
that's
something-
the family vibe.
There was something about like that Templar chick that her
Yeah,
face
Oh, it
and,
was very
and the big
Wanda.
eyes. There's something about it that looks very reminiscent of like most Capullo designs.
It's very Wanda-ish from Swan.
Yeah.
Very Wanda-ish. So that's my book. Anybody want to go next? Who wants to go next?
George, you want to go with Nightwing?
Sure, I'll go. Nightwing 69.
Hey.
Hey, my brother.
Hey, Nightwing has been on an upward swing. Finally, we're getting answers.
Is that what we're calling it?
I mean, it was on a downward swing for a while, so after the down, I guess we got to go up. But Rick Grayson, we're finally getting answers. The Court of Owls was behind his memory lapse.
He's still Rick.
Rick, man.
No. There's a very besides the artwork being absolutely fantastic.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
That's the main thing that's really
Yeah.
keeping me.
Who's the artist?
The artist is I can't even pronounce this.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cliquette? Anyone want to pronounce that artist name? Jurgen's a writer.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, Cliquette.
So
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
going to say Cliquette.
There you go.
okay. Well, there is a fantastic scene. It's literally, I feel like they made this
Uh
just for Joe.
Uh,
Where we're in, and I'll get to it in a moment. But so we start off with just a TV being played, and they're talking about how Bloodhaven lost its Nightwing for a while. Now there's 4 of them.
Mhm.
One looks older, one looks younger. These 2 look related. A bunch of stuff going on, and then you have Rick in his even newer outfit. I mean, this guy gets more new outfits than I can even imagine. So he has another outfit, and he's like,
It's like
in Switzerland?
are they trying to find something new?
They're trying to find something new, but I feel the artwork for future solicitations
Yeah.
is him in his old costume. It's blue.
Okay.
It's black and blue. So I guess you're just, playing around with him for right now, but he's in like a castle.
Yeah.
And he's taking down court members and just barreling through everything. And he keeps saying that in his head, there are 2 memories, there are 2 lives, up until the point where his parents died,
Yeah.
and then it diverges. And his brain is literally battling 2 sets of memories, causing him headaches, issues, and a bunch of other stuff.
Right.
But at the very bottom of it, where you have this awesome page where the left side is the Talon life, the right side is his Robin life, him in the middle, it says, I keep wondering if I'm Rick Grayson Talon or Dick Grayson Nightwing. And it's just...
Wait,
I
so he
thought-
knows who he is?
Well, he knows that he has 2 sets of memories, but they're so real, he doesn't know which one's true. But he was able, in the last issue or the issue before, when he was fighting Talon,
Mhm.
he was able to break the wall that was separating everything. So now his brain's a big...
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
So he's got 2 lives in his head.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And it's just a little too much for him. But, as it goes through, it flashes back to him talking with his girlfriend about how he doesn't know what he's doing. He breaks into a psychologist's office to, she's not answering me. I don't know what's going on. There has to be, I need my doctor. He goes to her desk and he finds the owl mask. And he's like, and he has a whole hissy fit about that while still having these headaches. And she's like, you've had more than 5 in this day already.
Mm.
So he's pretty much incapacitated when they come. And I'm hoping that it becomes more of a thing as he goes forward. But he finally makes it to the bottom of this castle. And his doctor's there, wearing the owl mask. And she, of course, explains everything of, they've been watching him since he was very young.
Mm-hmm.
They've been waiting for a moment to turn him over. When KGBs took him out, that was their moment. And she got lucky that Bruce Wayne wasn't, an idiot enough to go ahead and hire her to do the work.
Mm.
And then she explains how, all these medicines made him pliable. And then I guess you want to say the MacGuffin for it all, is this crystal, which it's called the Identity Crystal.
Oh my god,
I know, it's such a MacGuffin.
that's so comic book,
And you even look at her with it, and it has like this saint look to it,
Yeah.
with all this color and everything behind, with like a little halo to it. And it's like she uses this to wipe him into a blank slate and implant whatever she wants. But as this happens,
So they pulled the cosmic child plot with like Captain America.
Yeah.
God, yes,
Oh, yeah, which makes him Hydra,
Right.
the supreme leader.
pretty wow. That you just made it a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, the bad thing is that as Nightwing was taking out as Rick was taking out the guards, one of them's like, "Oh, he's taking over. We have to stop him before he does any more damage." And he sets off a self-destruct timer that blows up the whole castle. I mean, props for taking initiative, but the wrong initiative. And as she's messing with Dr. Haas is messing with his mind to revamp him back to a blank slate, the whole building blows up. So he's pretty much
now
in a blank slate while the whole castle's blowing up, and he gets thrown into some underwater cavern. There's a rush of water, and he's like, "Oh, the only thing I remember is a woman asking to help her." And he reaches out for her, but at the very end, he wasn't able to save her. The water took her, but he does end up getting too far. He does end up getting a crystal.
okay.
So it's like, okay, we have blank slate Rick Grayson with the Identity Crystal, and then at the very last 2 pages show you that Joker is a little bit upset that these Nightwings have taken over the Nightwing that he knew, and he wants to find his Nightwing, which is a little weird. He's a little possessive of Nightwing.
Because the only person he should be possessive about is Batman.
Exactly. But I guess since he was the original sidekick, he was there as Robin grew up. I guess he, in a crazy sort of way, Joker feels like a surrogate father to Robin.
Oh, surrogate uncle.
Oh, surrogate uncle, yeah.
Uncle Joker.
Uncle Joker. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a little weird, but it's going to start the Joker war that's coming up.
Yeah, which is Tinian's thing on Batman.
Exactly. And if I'm correct, at the end of all of this, we're going to have regular old Dick Grayson Nightwing back.
So the only way he gets back is Joker gets him back.
Joker's gonna hit him over the head with that iron,
With that crowbar.
and it's gonna fix him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing a crowbar session with a Robin. That went well the first time.
Like Looney Tunes style. Yeah, you hit the head. Yeah, now your memories come all the way back.
Okay.
It's gonna say acne on it.
It's an acne. I know everyone's been out on this. I do love the artwork.
You deserve credits on this book
I
for
know,
the actual
sure.
person that took care of this book. They should put your name on the end. George, thank you.
You should
thank you.
you should do what's that called? When you submit the letters to the writer or whatever.
Yeah,
The letterbox.
yeah.
Write that to Dan Jurgens is like, yo, can I write Nightwing after you?
Well, Dan Jurgens is a good writer. That's why this whole
Is he
over a year.
No, he's a good writer.
No,
He's a good writer, but this
Sorry,
over a
this
year
one.
arc that we've been doing with ever since he got shot by KGBs has just been driving me
Bro,
insane.
and that was Nightwing 55.
I know.
Yeah. And it's not going to be
Wow.
over to like 70 plus.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god! All I gotta say is I was in a comic book store this weekend and they had a deluxe edition of the Grayson series where he was the spy for Spiral,
Tom
Ooh.
Hanks.
and I was looking at that going, "Oh, remember the days when this?" I liked that series, but I never thought I'd reminisce about Nightwing not being Nightwing, and I was like, "God, those were the days."
When he wasn't Rick.
He's had
But he was still Dick Grayson. He was Agent Grayson, and he was still had awesome art because Janelle was the artist on that book, and Tom King was right. Oh my god! It was
But did he get 4 different costumes in a matter of 10 issues?
Oh,
No,
geez.
that was the great thing about it.
Did he go from oil paint and like rope to like having a badass armored costume and an actual mask that covers his scarf?
You
Because the
need to-
scar's recognizable.
You may need to look up the word badass. I think you're using it wrong.
Probably that word's gonna mean what I think it means.
It's sad because the only thing that I thought was so interesting in these like almost 2 years that you've been talking about Nightwing, George, was when he became talent, and he was talent for in 1 issue.
They should have.
Bro, that should have been an arc.
No?
It would have been great as an arc.
That should have been an arc of Rick Grayson talent in Bloodhaven versus his 4 Nightwings.
Well, he would have taken them out like without even trying.
But that's why, like, that would have been, I don't know, to me, cool.
He stabbed one of them in that one issue.
Right, but I don't know. I like redemptive arcs, so like when heroes become villains and go on another redemptive arc to become a good hero again. I think that would have been better.
I would have liked to set him up not against the other Nightwings, but against other heroes.
Ooh,
maybe like B-list heroes. Not necessarily like put him against Batman or anything, but it would have been good to have a few like It would have been great.
That would have been perfect. And he's Italian fighting Batman. And then Batman finds out that it's fucking Dick.
I think that would have been a better,
better
coming back arc.
Get him on the phone.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm old school about this, but I think the best thing they ever tried to do with Nightwing was when they first brought him to Bloodhaven and Scott McDaniel was drawing the book. And he was trying to establish himself as the Batman of Bloodhaven. He was the Nightwing of Bloodhaven.
Right.
They were even trying to give him like a car and do all this stuff with it. It was actually a very interesting thing they were trying to do. And then other writers got on it and kind of tried to.
Can KGB
Chuck Dixon
shoot
left
this
the
arc
book.
in the head?
And
Wait, what was that, Joe? Please say that louder and closer to the mic.
Can KGB shoot this arc in the head? Please.
And the other side of the head.
Yes.
Make it even.
And not miss this time. Just.
Well, I mean, he didn't miss last time. That thing went in. That's why he has that
And
little
it's a
Batman.
bat scar. He somehow shot a bullet to make it a bat scar.
That was just not one cover.
Whatever, it's
Well,
canon now.
it's a squiggly line now.
Oh, God.
That kind of it looks more like the Nightwing chest for the blue.
Oh, that's even worse.
I know it's so bad.
He
But
shot him and it formed the word Nightwing.
Oh,
on
my
the
God.
other head.
How many more issues
God.
is this?
17,000.
Issue 70, we should start seeing a return to form. So
I mean,
When the New Gods movie comes out, he should be coming back.
Oh,
He should start thinking about the Nightwing cover. He's just like,
Kevin,
maybe blue
Just
and
face
black.
facts, bro. That movie's not coming.
Fuck. Oh, damn it, Justin.
does it feel like they don't know what to do with him?
Yeah,
Clearly.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, we've already done all we can with Nightwing. Let's go in a new direction.
a new direction with no direction. It's just let's do this random arc about him losing his man, which is really cool.
Yeah,
They
well,
give
see,
a
I can
backstory
see
and
the
then-
potential. You can see
There's
it. You
huge
can see it there.
potential.
You go, okay, a former Bat family member, family member
Former
loses-
Batman.
Yeah,
former Batman,
former Batman.
loses his memory. He's got to figure out
which
who
you
he
know
is
is my
again.
favorite.
That's
Um,
actually a pretty cool idea.
To a
And
certain
then-
degree.
Yeah, and even the idea of him training like people to be night. I don't know if he needs to be Nightwings, but training other people.
He hasn't trained anyone. He just let them put on the suit and then helps them out when they mess up.
That's even worse.
Well, he
Didn't even train them.
But the idea that
he
you
did
know,
change one person.
becomes like a mentor to other people because he doesn't know his place.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, and he
You know,
was just
figuring out through being a mentor that no, he's not a mentor. He needs to be out
See,
there.
but
doing
that's
things.
like that's the shit that's annoying because pre-52, he was the mentor to Damien.
Yes.
So we already
Yes.
did this.
Yeah, that's why the talent arc would have
But
been
it's
great.
different.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm suggesting the talent thing.
Which I like.
That was
It's
that's
great.
six
Six issues of
great.
him being talent, I would have been more
Yeah.
than happy.
Yeah, but he was talent for an
See,
issue, and then by the end, he was already, oh no, I'm Rick.
Seeing as that was one of the biggest teases to come out of fucking the Court of Owls was the fact that Dick
Yeah.
Grayson was supposed to be a talent.
Yeah.
What? You know, and
And then they gave it to us for like an issue.
Yeah.
And how many years ago was that?
Court of Owls, man. That's New 52 right there.
That was 2000.
2011.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
52 was 2011. Yeah.
I was like 2013. No, it was before that. Because 2013 was Marvel Now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw a
Don't
copy
remember.
of that Batman #1 from that Court of Owls run, that first Snyder Batman. That book used to be over $150. Guess how much it's going for now?
It has to be way more.
$25.
What? Why did it go down?
Reprint
That has nothing to do with what's going on now. So
The value of it.
the value, not the value, but the idea of the book. Nobody wants it anymore.
Wait until Matt Reeves does the Batman 2, and it's going to be Court of
God
Owls.
damn it, Rick.
It,
Drop
right,
that
it, had to,
value.
it would have to be something connected to the movies. It would have to be something.
Oh, totally. I got my copy.
I mean, whatever. I still got the tat. I don't care.
That was great.
That's all that matters, man.
I should have bought that $25.
That's the good thing. It's like you can keep these stories. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Right.
Cass is on my arm. She's never going anywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Despite her
yeah,
portrayal in
as
the
much
movie.
as they fucking the movies and the comics, like as much as they just gave her a big fuck you,
True.
You
In the
know.
comics, too.
it's like
Kind of
I can still go back and read those issues.
All right, so who's gonna go up next? Who's gonna
All right.
save
so
this podcast from
speaking,
Nightwing?
speaking of crystals,
Oh, God.
it was a crystal in Go-Go. So for you guys that don't like it. So we're continuing that Tommy's White Ranger. continuing that Jason, Trini, and Zach are
Omega.
accepting being Omega Rangers, but not yet. They have to go through one more mission.
Remember, Gogo is separate from.
Right, so we're
Mighty
going
Morphin.
backwards. They're not Omegas. Well, they're about to be. So Tommy's leader, Jason's letting him lead point. Tommy F's up. They're fighting some gunmetal monster that Zed sent down, and he's made out of gunmetal. So Billy and Jason are like, we have to fight him from afar because if you get close, he's gonna shoot you, and it's not gonna be good. Let's fight the putties and then go in.
Okay.
Tommy is like, nah, we're going straight in. Tommy goes straight in. Guess what happens? He gets paralyzed because he gets shot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Billy's like, God damn it.
He gets
Zach.
He gets Oracle.
Zach mouths off this whole issue. Zach's like, this is why Jason should be leading.
I have to ask you, why did you read this Go-Go issue when you weren't on Go-Go?
I was still reading it casually, but I read that it was pretty good, so I read it, and it is pretty good.
Because it's tying to the necessary evil.
Right, it is tying. But I
This is
really
going longer than
Go-Go ends in
the Shattered Grid event.
right.
Shattered Grid was maybe an accumulation of like maybe 12 issues
12,
altogether.
right.
This has been like a year of necessary evil.
Yeah, sorry to catch up tonight
With both books continuously. You're an asshole. This makes way more sense than fucking Dick.
Hey, he didn't write Nightwing.
Yeah,
It's not his fault.
I know.
He just reads it.
You're just happy that Tommy got hurt.
So Tommy's paralyzed.
Was Tommy somehow be paralyzed and also get amnesia?
No amnesia. So Jason takes point and
He comes back as a putty.
oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
He's no longer Tommy. He's Thomas now.
He's Thomas, right?
Full name Thomas Putty.
No,
I give up.
Episode title.
his mom's Rita.
Mom's reading. Dad said.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
get you get the ambiguous Star Wars moment. I am your
So
father.
Jason changes strategy, calls the Rangers fall back. Let's form the blaster, with the weapons. This whole time, Salva's talking shit to Tommy, saying, "I thought you run the show now. Why is Jason talking?" So Salva, I know the whole time. So Jason.
Here's a knife. Do something with the knife.
So Jason forms what's it called? The power blaster with all the weapons.
The Mega
Yeah,
Blaster?
yeah.
So Saba goes, I hope you don't think you're gonna connect me to that thing, are you? What?
I love how the inanimate object is giving them size.
I got a spot for you right in the back.
He's like, no, Jason knows what he's doing. So whatever, Jason blasts the monster dies. Zed calls it back. Zed doesn't want, usually he grows them. No, he didn't grow. They go back to the command center. Tommy's apologizing to Zordon. Look, I messed up, whatever. He's like, no. At the end of the day, the monster's dead. We're good. He sends him away. And it adds a nice little thing. They have a break room now in the command center, which I never knew about. I always thought they only had the little control panel room, and that was it. But
Go
no.
get yourself a donut, Tommy.
So Kimberly, Trini, Zach, and Billy are in that room, and they're second guessing Tommy. They're like, listen, he's not. Yeah, we got to do something. Jason has to lead because this guy can't do it. And then, it's mainly Trini and Zach talking. And Kimberly's like, no, he's fine. So Zordon sends Tommy away. Go relax. Let me talk to Jason by myself. He apologizes to Jason. He's like, listen, I'm sorry for making Tommy leader, but I was afraid of Zed overpowering us. I gave him that power because it's a little bit of me and the Morphin Grid combined. You're the more powerful Ranger, but you lost the green coin. You lost the Dragon Shield because I couldn't control that power anymore. I had to make Tommy the White Ranger. So I'm sorry. He's like, no, it's fine. He'll grow into it. He'll be the leader. I'm okay with not being leader right now. But Zordon was like about ready to pull back Tommy. Like, listen, Jason's the leader again. But Jason already knows about the Omega stuff. So Jason's like, no, I'm good.
He says the memories.
Right. So Jason's like, no, I'm fine, Zordon. He'll be fine. He'll catch on. He'll be fine. So he goes to the Rangers. They all leave. Everyone leaves. Zed sends that little cat for this crystal. I keep forgetting the cat's name. I'm sorry. For this crystal that has blueprints to the Kia's homeworld, the Omega Blue Ranger. Because deep in the world, he's looking for a weapon. And in the core of that planet, there's a weapon. I'm thinking it's the Zeo crystals.
Oh, that would make sense.
I'm thinking it's the Zeo crystal. But I don't know.
Be a nice way to transition.
So Zed sends down another. He's like, make me a monster to drill into that planet. I need to drill in there and get that weapon. He sends him a hedgehog with a drill in the middle of his head.
I love that they keep the monster designs super 90.
Yeah.
I'm
It's a,
all
let me
about
look
it.
for it. It's a hedgehog with a drill in the middle of his forehead. And then he's mad. He's like, "This is not what I want, but whatever. Send it down." He sends
It's
it down.
fine.
Jason saying basically it cuts back to the Rangers are in the juice bar, but Jason's with his father. It kind of touched me because I lost my dad. He's losing his dad,
That sucks.
and Jason's saying bye because Jason knows that he has to go. The embassy ranger already contacted Jason. I need you, Trini, and Zach to come up. We need to go get another. This is when they're gonna go get Kia, the Blue Ranger. He's saying bye to his
That
father.
went rogue.
Right. He's saying bye to his father. He's like, "Listen, I don't need my kid to take care of me. I'm gonna go. It's fine. You're a man now." So let me skip that because I'm about to. Anyway, so they go, and then Trini, Zach are telling, Kimberly and Billy are like, "What are you guys doing for this weekend?" And they basically lie to them. "Oh, we're going scuba diving or something." And they're like, "Can we go?" Like, "No, you can't go." Wait.
We don't want you guys anymore.
But at the same time, that
I wish there was like really funny puns about like them always avoiding hanging out with it.
Yeah.
well, I mean, they
Like,
told,
"Oh, what are you guys doing this weekend? Oh, we're going to mega diving. Dude, shut up."
yeah. Well, no. So
I wouldn't
when
go.
Jason goes and gets them, and he tells them we're gonna go scuba diving, their thing went off. But Kimberly's like, "That's not Zordon." Their thing went off.
Yo, Mega.
It's
Beaver.
not. It's not a watch. It's something that. Remember, they morph with something on their
Right.
wrist. It's not a morpher, but it's something. What he, the embassy ranger is calling them. He's like, "Let's go. We gotta go.
It's the Mighty Morphin.
So get
Aqua
clear,
Watch.
so I could beam you to the ship." So they walk away, and then Kimberly and Billy are like, "That was a different communicator," and they're confused. But whatever. They leave. They go to the planet. So the Blue Embassy tells the Rangers, "Look, we're gonna go to this planet. You're either gonna find a good friend or a really bad enemy." I'm like, "Damn, mate, she's both."
Right.
Another
so,
Green Ranger situation.
So Zed sends the monster to the monsters. They're drilling. They beam to the planet as their Ranger selves, the red, but not the Omega ones yet.
Right.
They're back. They're
The
still
Mighty Morphin.
right.
Mhm.
And it ends with them saving Kia. Kia is being chased by. It looks like putties, but it's not putties. It's like some weird alien type thing. And at the same time, the monster is drilling to the middle, but they don't know that yet.
Mhm.
But that's where it ends with Zed wanting something in that planet, and they're about to be Omega Rangers. So, and also on the ship on the way there, Trini's like, "Does it take years to get to this planet?" He's like, "You humans have like a stupid." Like he said, "You humans have a funny way of thinking about space travel. No, it's gonna take an hour." And she's like, "Okay," because she's afraid of what if it takes us years to get back to Earth and help Tommy and them if they need our help. He's like, "No, it's gonna take an hour."
That's
Okay.
funny.
So when they go, but on the way there, they were discussing who's going to take over for their colors and who do they want to add to their team. So they're talking about two different teams and adding people to them. So I like that conversation. And Zach is just like, "Listen, Tommy can't handle himself." Zach's like, "I don't
Damn.
believe in Tommy. I never did,
Damn.
even when he was green."
So basically,
Jason's
Zach
like-
is you.
Basically, he's hating. He's a Tommy hater. But that's Power Rangers 29.
That actually sounds like a really good issue.
No,
Yeah,
it
it
did.
did.
I liked it. I really hope it is the Zeo because it's a natural transition for
Right.
them.
Right.
They go get the Zeo crystals and make these guys the Zeo Ring. Now, it kind of will hurt the timeline because Jason would be the Gold Ranger.
Right.
Except
No, he only becomes a Gold Ranger for a short period of time when that alien
when the
comes
original
by.
guy can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, 'cause
I don't know if they're
splits.
going to go with that. I think they'll just keep that guy there.
Probably gonna. Yeah, they're gonna switch it.
Or
But no, and
maybe
they
Jason pulls double duty.
Jason's
Live in his double life.
he's technically doing double right now.
I know,
Yeah.
but hey, let's see how they work it.
As Zach also is okay with living on space. He's like, I'm good. Like I don't think Zach has a family, so I don't know because he's not worried about. Jason's like, I'm leaving my
Right.
dad.
But it
My
never comes
father's
up as a
dying,
concern for him. Yeah.
and Jason's like, should I leave or should I? But they're like, no. His dad basically told him go.
Yeah.
So go be. He said go be with your friends, but he doesn't know what he's really doing.
Yeah, that's. I
I
wish
would,
he would've told him.
I would morph in front of him
Yeah,
and at least show
Show
him.
him, yeah.
Show him before
Let
you look.
them see
I'm
you
like-
as
this is
Right,
why
you
I'm
know?
like such a slacker. This is why I
Yeah.
stopped playing
Right,
sports.
right.
saving lives, Dad.
Yeah. Couldn't save
You're
your
telling
life.
me.
Couldn't save your life.
Yeah.
You gotta save lives in a leotard? What?
Yeah. Is that a onesie
Is that a onesie?
with a helmet?
Is that a biker helmet?
What is?
There's more macho costumes. I've seen them.
Yeah. What is that?
That's definitely Jason's dad.
He's a dick.
Okay, you want me to get into
Deceased, right?
yeah, deceased.
Slide into it.
Let's do it. Okay, so Deceased Unkillable by Tom Taylor.
Taylor.
And who's the artist?
Yeah, it's not the same guy that did Deceased.
No, it's different. But I like the art though. So
yeah, I thought I like that it was different.
It might be at the end. It doesn't say. Okay, so we start out in Kentucky of all places, and it's Slade is driven up on a motorcycle. And he goes to this huge house. He's hearing these noises come out, and there's a bunch of zombies who. There's one dude who runs out the door and just runs past Slade, and then Slade shoots him in the back of the head as he's running.
Wow. I mean,
so, you know,
right.
I have to really admit it, guys. This issue is really funny.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
So and so then there's these zombies who then just start attacking him. He looks inside this place and he walks in and it's just a shit ton of zombies. And
they're neo-Nazis.
Yeah, and the neo-Nazis at that. I forgot about that detail.
Wow.
They're race right there.
The neo-Nazis at that, and then Slade goes to work, starts slicing and dicing, doing what he does best. And then, I forgot what they do to him here.
I think he has like a remark about something about like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah.
Something
or
like that.
Or he's going to have to up the price for more
Yeah,
work.
something about that.
So then he gets a call on the phone, and he looks at it, and I guess it's the anti-life equation.
Yeah, the anti-life equation overtakes him immediately.
And so he he starts freaking out, and then everything goes pitch black as if he died. But obviously,
but I like also like, and this was his story. This was
right. It ends it as if like it's over.
And I'm reading this, mind you, Jeff, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is the prologue to the rest of it, and then he's back, and I'm like,
because it's like, but Slade is different.
Yeah.
And then, so I guess he has the regenerative healing, Wolverine, basically.
But I like how you get his POV. When it comes back, it's his hands around someone's neck, but his hands, you can clearly tell they're like bitten, and like parts of his gloves are missing and shit.
Yeah,
and
one
then,
hand
like,
has the gloves,
some
one
of
doesn't.
his mask is missing, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
And he's surrounded by chaos.
And so, and then he, so he wakes up and then he's like, what does he say? Yeah, he says, what the fuck?
It's such a funny issue.
So he wakes up and he says, what the fuck? And so that's basically the prologue. So then we go to Gotham. We're at Wayne Manor, and Jason walks into the Batcave. And he's walking in, the bats are flying by, and he steps into a puddle of blood. It's like, all right, the hell's going on? And then he looks, and it's... So this part I was confused about. So it's Bruce and it's Dick, and that's supposed to be Tim?
Yeah, they all died.
Okay. Because he looks like Damien. Does he not?
No, Damien's not dead.
No,
Damien survived.
Okay. Right, because I know he says that later. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So he walks in and he sees them, and then he hears a noise, and points the gun at it, and it's Ace growling, and then Ace his face softens up, and he pets him, and it's
to give some context.
This sweet moment.
Deceased Unkillables is like a side story during the Deceased anti-life equation going off in the DC world or whatever.
Right, because
it says day one again.
Yep. Yeah,
and this is showing that like, it's a prequel because Deceased already ended. That was last year,
right?
Which is like what I said on the show was like that was my favorite miniseries last year. So Unkillables is this side story, kind of like I forgot the other side story, A Good Day to Die, which was about like Blue Beetle, Booster, Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, and Constantine.
Gotcha.
And I can't remember who else I'm missing, but Unkillables, the POV, as you're saying, Jeff, is Slade and Jason Todd.
Yeah.
So it's two,
which is great. Two of the most badass.
Yeah, badass vigilantes.
I thought the Unkillable story was supposed to be from the villain's point of view.
It's you will get more of the villains in the Slade. Jeff will get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But I like Jason being.
I really like the Jason part.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So so it's just him and Ace there, and they're obviously looking at the dead bodies of Tim, Dick, and Bruce, and then and so he says he's not going to leave them.
Alfred.
Yeah, he says I'm not going to leave them like this.
Yeah, so
and then
he
sets
digs
up,
them a grave,
digs them graves, buries them. Yeah, it's super.
But I love Bruce's tombstone.
Yeah.
Do you have
I'll get to that. Yeah. So he gets to it and he says Bruce Wayne, father, mentor, bastard Batman.
Oh.
Which is pretty much.
Dude, reading that alone, I grinned.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it gave me feels. Because
Mm-hmm.
to me, it was like that was like the cornerstone of DC's. Is like that was the one that every superhero rallied of. Like he would have a plan of what to do, and he dies in the first.
And now that's taken
in the
out.
second issue, I think, and it's like, oh shit, okay, this is real.
So what do we do?
The way he died was really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why like halfway into DC's, they literally turn to Lex because he's
right, because they need someone else.
There's even a joke I think in the last issue where Lex is like, oh, as the smartest person on the planet, they're like, wait, Batman's dead, right? They're like, yeah. He goes, well, yes. So as the smartest person on the planet.
Oh, God.
Hey, he can have it now because he's in this world. Bruce is gone. So then we cut to somewhere in Gotham, and night 2 of the anti-life equation or anti-life virus, and they're in Rose Wilson's apartment, and as we all know, is Ravager, Slade's daughter, and she gets a call on the walkie, and it's Slade telling her to get ready, get prepared, meet me on the roof, and there's some I'm confused at this. Oh, I guess it's a flashback. She's having daydreams of someone busting through the door or zombies bursting through the door.
She's going over the plan. Like in her
Okay,
head.
gotcha. Okay.
Or something about like, I think
it's
she
color
does
and then
say,
it goes black and white.
yeah, she does say something about like having visions of opening the door and she sees the outcome.
And it not being what
I'm not sure if that's like a power set of hers.
Right.
No, is it, Justin? You would know better than all of us. But it's weird because exactly what Jeff is saying. The art literally goes out of its way to show something different in this like vision. And then like it shows it to us. As she's not just saying it.
Yeah, so that happens. She gets all dressed up. She looks awesome because her costume is awesome.
Yeah.
She meets him on the roof, and
she takes the fire escape up.
Yeah, she takes the fire escape. Yeah, because he's like, take the fire escape, don't take the front door.
Right.
Meet me on the roof. And then she's like, all right, what the hell's on the roof? And then she gets up there. He's in a helicopter, and then is this Man Bat?
Yeah.
Wait, like Man Bat?
Yeah.
So he's telling her, okay, come on, hurry up and jump. And he goes, wait, no, stop. Because he sees from a distance. Yeah. And I love how it cuts to him back in the helicopter. He goes, fuck. And then Man Bat, zombified Man Bat, barges through the helicopter.
Head first. And then Slade's got the gun. And he's just
it's so
shot.
Dude, it's so crazy. I love how this one issue shows the utter chaos in the city. And it's only day 2.
Mm-hmm. So then the helicopter crashes, and it looks like he's dead. And then he's not. And then he gets out, and then she says, I'm sorry, Dad. And then she stabs him in the chest.
This is amazing.
And he says, ow.
He says, ow. And she's like, all right, I'm assuming these zombies wouldn't say ow. So I guess you're okay. I guess you're okay.
This is amazing.
Bro, it's such a funny issue. It's so good.
And so, and then freaking Mirror Master shows up.
In like glass of like the helicopter. And he's cracking jokes the whole time. He's like, so you're just going to stand there and watch the helicopter burn? I was like, you could come with me, or you could, piece together back the helicopter.
Okay.
It's so ridiculous.
Just to chime in real quick, yes, one of her abilities is she possesses the precognitive sense to let her see into the immediate future.
Wow.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
dude,
so that's what was happening.
That's awesome.
That's
that
cool.
Tom Taylor knows these characters that well. That's a deep cut.
Well, it's deep enough because that was one of her original powers. They've changed some.
Oh wow!
That was before New 52.
There's a bunch of stuff before pre New 52 that he brings back in there.
Right, because you said when Jason was in the Wayne Manor, he passes by the Bat family portrait.
Yeah, there's a whole portrait,
and Cassandra's there.
The whole family, like everyone who's supposed to be there.
And it's there. Like the right age.
Yes. Yep. And what? No. I was like, wait, no. But what you juxtapose that against was it Pennyworth R.I.P.
Yeah.
And you look at, they have a little photo portrait in there, and it's like Bruce and Damien and Dick and Babs, and like that's it. It's like, well, where the fuck is the rest of the family?
For real.
You know what I mean? So like when I saw that moment in here, I was like, he gets it.
No, even now in Rebirth, there's still like, there's still Batwing, the Signal.
Yeah.
there's still like a bunch more.
It's an extended family for Pennyworth R.I.P. to just put 4 of them in there.
It's okay. I didn't mean to go off on that. Duke is the Signal.
Yes, he's Signal now. Yeah,
okay. And then who's Batwing?
Batwing is Lucius's son.
Yes,
Lucas Fox.
Lucas, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then Mirror Master shows up, and then Mirror Master, he's trying to convince him to come in. He's cracking jokes, and then they're like, what's the catch? And he's like, well, survival. Like, you want to survive, you can stay here, like you said, or you can fix the helicopter.
Yeah. Oh, he does say, Vandal Savage.
Oh, yeah, that's why he's like, what's the catch?
Guys.
Yeah, he's like, because Vandal Savage is summoning you. So they come in, and then he walks them through the mirror world, which looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and he gives them goggles.
He
goes, it's pretty safe, but just in case, still don't look at the mirrors.
Right, because of the anti-life virus. It can still affect you. So he gives them the goggles, they walk through, and then they meet Savage, and Savage is in a room full of... They're on some fucking island. I don't really know where it was, but he's in a room with Solomon Grundy, the Creeper, the Cheetah, Captain Cold, Lady Shiva, Bane, and Deadshot. And it was hilarious because Bane's reading a book, not paying attention to anybody.
so I think the front cover. They were the front cover.
So I have to point out, George, if you thought this book was not funny yet,
what it says under them? Yeah.
This is where it gets really comical, George. And I know you specifically would really like the Creeper because he makes merchandise for this cabal of villains.
It's like Solomon Grundy dead. The Creeper able to heal from any wound. The Cheetah fast, strong, resilient. Captain Cold freezes things. Lady Shiva deadly as hands on Earth. Bane muscle. Deadshot greatest marksman on the planet. And then the Creeper starts going into like he calls them tree lobsters.
Yeah.
Wow. And he goes to Savage like, so yeah, I made some tree lobster shirts.
Yeah. Because Vandal Savage goes off in this like analogy about tree lobsters
and how they survive.
Right, by going on this island.
And he's like, Creeper's like, I made shirts, and then he points to Solomon Grundy, and Grundy's like, Grundy is tree lobster. Yeah.
Wow.
So
we're in a huge
it's and they've got hats and flags, and it's hilarious.
Did he just like make this in the moment?
Yeah, I think he made them already. I don't know.
Yeah, he had them pre-made for the moment.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I just love you think it'd just be a one-thing joke, but bro, it's panels.
Yeah.
Panels of the merchandise. It's so ridiculous.
How do they get Grundy's size?
It's Creeper.
Who knows? Who knows, man?
What is that, like a 16X?
So then Vandal goes on to say, look, the heroes aren't ruthless enough. They're gonna die from this. So we'll be there to inherit the earth once all this is passed.
And it's weird because the art for Vandal Savage, the way like his design, it reminds me of bearded Batman, like when Bruce is isolated, like in the fucking desert or in some island or whatever. I forgot that art. It looks like Bruce to me. It looks weird.
A little bit. So then we hop back to Gotham, and now we're in GCPD.
Oh, with Jason.
And this is my moment because you got the bat signal in the air. You go to the insides of Gotham PD, and then it's just Cassandra in there kicking fucking ass, as she should, and barking orders at Bullock and Gordon because they're kind of in shock and standing around because the zombies are everywhere and they're shooting back, and Gordon's thinking like he's like I lit the signal, hopefully we can get some backup, and then Bullock looks to Gordon, he's like, look, she's the only bat coming. Like we gotta go. We gotta do something. And then Bullock gets attacked from behind by some zombies and starts to get eaten.
I like how that shows like at any moment's hesitation you will get infected.
Yeah. Because you think you have you're safe for a moment, and then it's just
very Walking Dead season 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was a great season. So then he shoots the zombie, and then Bullock's begging for it to like just kill me because like I'm not. Like, this isn't going to work. And she's, because Gordon is like my friend and he doesn't want to, and then Cass is just like, Gordon, act now. Like, we got to, grieve later. Yeah, grieve later, act now. So we got to go. And then he's like, then the Batmobile crashes through the GCPD.
So good. Because earlier Jason has like, well, he never did let me drive the Batmobile.
Yeah. And then he looks out the window. He's like, well, you getting in or not?
Yeah,
and just
to
talking to
Ace.
Ace, and then Ace hops in. That was a great moment. So then he crashes through, and Gordon's like, Batman? And then he's like, no, not Batman. Get in the car.
Yeah, but I like when he says that, I think he gets some shots on.
Yep.
Pops off 3. And Ace is wearing like the coolest tactical vest.
Yeah.
It's man.
And Ace is actually gnawing on a zombie.
Man, so they
I
get
love
in the car.
I love how the art does
Yes.
also like side story.
Mm-hmm. So they get in the car, and then they're like, what's the plan? And Jason's like, my plan is to get the hell out of Gotham. Like, we got to get out of here. And then, Gordon's like, well, we can't leave Barbara. We got to go find her. And then Jason goes to explain, like, she's gone, man.
Yeah.
And
The bat car,
Yeah.
the Batmobile.
He's like, how do you know? He's
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the car, Batman had whatever the fuck he put in all of them to
Tracking devices.
track whether
But I like
they're alive.
the way it's explained to us is like, oh, show the Bat family. And it shows a map with,
Right.
with
So he
red
says,
dots and
car
show
shows-
how many have heartbeats.
he's like, car shows the heart monitor for Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
And then it just reads, it's flat line. And then Cass is in the back, and she's obviously, because her relationship with Barbara. And just the reaction face is just like, fuck. Like, she's gone. And then Gordon is like, what is this? Why do you have a monitor on us? He's like, you're a smart man and a good detective. Batman's dead. You don't have to play his game anymore. Which is like, it's kind of Jason. There's
no more
he's
bullshit.
been kind of over this shit. Like,
Right, and he's like,
off his helmet.
mm-hmm. So he takes off his
yeah,
helmet.
I like that there's a reveal.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is that
Mhm.
Gordon. He doesn't know their
Right, he
identities.
doesn't know yet. So he reveals he's Jason Todd. And then, so Gordon says, Jason Todd? And he's like, yes. And then Cass takes off her mask. And he's like, Cassandra Cain? And she's like, hello. So then he starts piecing it together and starts naming them. Bruce Wayne,
just like,
Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, Barbara. Are they all? And he's like, well, Damian was with Alfred last I checked, and he was alive in Metropolis. So then they get to the point where
I don't know why they don't come up with a plan to go to Metropolis from that point. That's where I didn't understand why they decided to go to Bloodhaven.
Right. Oh, well, because Gordon wanted to see her. He's like, I know what your back computer says. He wanted to see Barbara.
Okay.
So he's like,
Which is like
okay.
gruesome scene.
Yeah.
Wait, but they don't go to Blood. That's not where she's in Bloodhaven. That she's still in Gotham.
Oh, you're
when
right.
they go
You are
see her
right.
body
You are right.
is
Yes.
the whole thing with Joker.
Yes. Okay, you're right. Oh, so I don't know why they don't.
Yeah,
just go
I
to-
can't. I remember reading that. I'm like, why Bloodhaven? You
Yeah.
just said they might be survivors in Metropolis. Go there.
True.
But I don't know. I kept thinking, I'm like, there has to be a reason why there's a side story
Mm-hmm.
and why these survivors never cross with the main line.
Yep.
So I was like, okay.
Something else happens there. So they go to visit Barbara so he can see her for one last time. And this is another moment I loved, which is like more of an indictment on the mainline DC universe. Because you could have two Batgirls. And as you can see, when they find Barbara, she's in her Batgirl costume.
Right.
And so is Cass. So it's like they clearly, in this world, they coexist,
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have to see a whole backstory to see that, to know that.
Right.
You can just tell in these few panels here, like, they coexisted. And I love how Cass consoles Gordon, and that's what she says, mourn later, move now. She's like, we got to go. Like, this sucks, but we got to go. And Jason's great here because Barbara had somehow killed Joker in the midst of it. And Jason's pissed because he's like, I should have been the one to kill him.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And then Cass again, she's so great at this. She's like, we got to move. It's not safe. So
He's like, wait.
he's like, one last thing. So then he pins the Joker onto the hood of the Batmobile.
Wow. Rides off.
And Gordon's like, this is pretty fucked up, man. Like,
Wow.
Gordon's like, this is fucked up. He's
George,
like,
I told you need to read this just because of Jason.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's great.
Yeah, I love Jason.
So yeah, Gordon says this is fucked up, and Jason says it's an apocalypse.
He's not wrong.
So
It's apocalypse, don't touch me.
yeah, he's like, it's apocalypse, don't judge me. So they head off to Bloodhaven, and that's where they see the school, or at least they believe. I don't know if they know if it's school yet, but it's a building where all the zombies are
It's an
floating around.
orphanage.
It's an orphanage,
But they don't know that yet.
Yeah,
until they
as
go
of
in.
yet, they just know this. Oh, there's a bunch of zombies, and everyone's around this building. So
And
clearly something's
Jason's like,
there.
oh, let's keep going.
Right.
And it's Gordon's like, no, we should help whoever's
Mhm.
inside.
Because if they're there, that means somebody's alive. So, so they go there. He throws some missiles to create space for them to get in, and then they get in and they meet these kids, and these kids are just survived. and they kind of, long story short, basically, Cass turns to them and it's like, this is a good fight. We should stay here and help protect these kids. They don't have anyone.
I like the tip of like, oh, how'd you round up the infected adults?
Right.
Like, oh, some superhero did that. And locked the doors for us. I was
going to ask you. Do you know?
I think it was Big Barda.
Okay.
Back in the one spinoff of a Good Day to Die, but I can't remember.
Okay.
That was last year, and then that one off was like only after issue 2 or 3 of Deceased. Okay. So I really don't remember.
So it was somebody, but we don't know.
Right. I think it was Big Barda. I'm pretty sure because they say that it was a female superhero who was really strong, and I know for a fact there wasn't Wonder Woman.
Right.
She was with the main people in Deceased.
What's Supergirl in Deceased? Is she anywhere in the equation?
I actually don't know. That's actually a good question. Yeah. I don't remember.
She's the only one I can think of that would be there.
You're right. I don't remember.
So
it could be.
But yeah, so they end up. So that basically ends it. They're going to stay there and they're going to.
What was because George just reminded me of the Batmobile thing. I can't remember why they needed like a code to do something with the Batmobile.
To remove the safety protocols for
to not kill,
disable all non-lethal safety protocols.
Okay.
And the password for that is remember Joe Cho.
Yes, yeah, which is like,
dude,
all the touches.
Dude, Tom Taylor.
I was just reading this, man. I was like, oh my god, like the whole book. No, this is issue 1, and it's only 3 issues.
It's only going to be 3.
1 out of 3. I'm buying all 3 of these. So I finished reading this, man. And I was just sitting back and I'm like, he fucking gets it. Like I missed reading pre-New 52 DC universe, especially pre-New 52 Bat family.
Right.
Like I was just like, oh, this is amazing. Like this is amazing. This is what I've missed, And
Tim's there because I never liked him.
Oh, fuck you, man.
Tim's, I like Jason Todd better.
No, Tim's the best Robin.
Whoa.
Tim's the best Robin.
Better than Damian?
Yeah. I got Damian second.
Oh, wait a minute.
Whoa. Original Dick Grayson?
Right, yeah.
Tim's the best Robin?
I preferred my Dick Grayson to be Batman. So, that's why I say that.
Okay.
My favorite Batman is Dick Grayson.
Right.
That's why I say that. But yeah, I've always been a Tim guy. Always.
Okay.
He's the only one of equal detective level intelligence.
True.
Like he's the acrobat and he's the martial artist, and I get Dick, and I love Dick Grayson. My best duo is Dick Grayson and Damian as Batman and Robin. It's no disrespect to Dick. I would just prefer him as Batman. You know what I'm saying? That's where I am.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that boat.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I just prefer him.
that.
If you like that dynamic, bro, did you ever read the mainline Deceased?
No. I read a few, and then obviously I was hearing you when you were talking about it. I'm definitely going to go back and to fill in the backstory.
Damian Batman, and paired with Superboy with John.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
they're heart to heart when John tells him, he goes, "You're a good Batman."
Yeah,
and he flies off, and it's just that one silent panel. Oh my god! And I like that. He's just there in the suit.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what's with Batboy? And they're like, no, he's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm like, yes, bro. Yeah. Oh my god.
I gotta go back and read that. It reminds me of a moment, and again, this is pre New 52, and Batman Incorporated when Damien, it's the issue where Damien dies actually, and Dick and Damien get back together for the first time in a long time, and then Damien looks at things he's like, we were good.
Yeah,
we were. So like that gave what you just saying just gave me that same kind of feeling. Like for as rough exterior as Damien is, man, he's such a sweetheart.
Yeah,
he's such a sweetheart, man.
Especially with Dick.
I love that kid. Yeah, for sure.
He respects the fucking Dick.
Like
he doesn't respect anybody.
When you read, Grant Morrison did such a great job.
Sometimes not even Bruce.
Very, very rarely.
That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's that part of some type,
Unkillables was amazing, man.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jason Inman.
I've heard the name, for sure.
He does Geek History and other stuff. Whatever, he's part of the Schmodown. So Joe and I remember him.
Yeah. He does a lot of DC stuff.
If you hear him talk, especially on YouTube or whatever. Yeah, on YouTube or whatever, I think he's been asked multiple times who's his favorite character, and he always says it's Dick Grayson.
Uh-huh.
And someone asked him once, and I'm like, damn, that's good. Or someone asked him why. He said because he's Batman's only success story.
And I was I would disagree with that though.
I was like, wait, wow. But he elaborates.
Okay.
He goes, because think of it, he's Batman is the vigilante in Gotham,
Mhm.
but it always needs Batman. Even if it's not Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne, it needs a Batman.
For
it
sure.
needs a savior.
For sure.
He goes, Nightwing outgrew him. Dick Grayson outgrew Batman, became Nightwing of Bloodhaven. And he's like, he's the only success story. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
I appreciate his point of view,
yeah.
but I disagree because I consider, especially when Tim goes to Red Robin,
Right.
And Cass as Batgirl, and Barbara as Oracle.
Yeah.
Not only training and mentoring Cass, but then starting Birds of Prey. Like I think Bruce actually has a lot of success stories. I wouldn't only consider Dick his one.
But there has to be tragedy involved to get to those success stories.
For sure.
With
Oracle being paralyzed.
Yeah, because Oracle can't be Oracle without being paralyzed by the Joker.
True, understandable.
So that right there kind of negates the success.
Didn't Tim have his own tragedy?
And she forged her own way.
Tim didn't get it until later, though.
She forged her own way without Batman. Didn't she become Oracle without his help?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because they had to. There was a whole storyline where they were trying to figure out who Oracle was.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which I think made her a better, stronger character.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
But see, if you look at Dick Grayson, from beginning to end. He took him in, he trained him, and he's actually the only sidekick character that's ever, or at least the first, that's graduated to become, and the one that Batman trusts. Okay, I'm leaving. You need to take over. In fact, there's been multiple stories where he's like, Dick, I need you to come back and take over. Dick's like, look, man, I got other things to do. I can't be cleaning up your messes all the time.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree.
Equal and not as a sidekick.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. He's like, look, if I'm going to leave, I need you to come back. And and Dick's also the one that doesn't play favorites. Just go, yes, Daddy, right away. He's just like, look, man, I got other shit to do.
The grown man.
Yeah, he's his own man.
It just
figured it out.
It just
no, I agree. I think reading Red Robin for the 2 years it was before they did the New 52, and reading Cass's run as Batgirl, I think you guys would.
Well, I read Cass's Batgirl.
Yeah,
I love her.
Yeah. I think you guys would agree, especially Tim becoming Red Robin
until she started talking again, which is what I was like.
The writers started to get a little, they started once we got close to that.
Her being trained by Kane and all that stuff. Yeah.
But back to that point of Dick Grayson is. I believe it was season 1 of Young Justice when they were debating the whole thing about like Billy Bats and Shazam and Diana calls Batman out and it's like you're one to talk about letting adolescent children because you always take children under you and it goes you're training a 10-year-old boy to be just like you and he goes no not to be like me and I was like oh my God.
For sure. And you got to remember, in that Tim Drake Red Robin run, he's the one who found Bruce when Bruce was lost in time.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody else thought he was dead.
Tim's got the best story as far as becoming Robin anyway, because he was the one that figured it out before everybody else.
Right, and he didn't need the tragedy. He got the tragedy after he was Robin.
Yeah,
right. Like his parents, his parents were alive.
His dad died during identity crisis. Yeah,
like so he didn't get it. He didn't come into it. What I love about Tim so much is that especially after Jason died, he saw that Batman needed a Robin, and he provided that for him.
Oh,
that's what I love. That's why I love Jason so much.
I mean, if I had
Tim so much.
If I had to pick a second favorite, it's definitely Tim. I mean, by all means, I wish Tim had stayed Robin. To be honest with you,
I wish he.
But
I love his growth in the Red Robin, though.
But I also love that one of the things I liked about the character was always that he always said, "Look, I don't want to do this forever. I actually want to stop being Robin."
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I was like, "Oh, he's got it out. He's not just I thought that was interesting.
There's a great moment. There's another great moment in that Red Robin run where he's there's a large arc where he's battling Raish. So much so where Raish, he's the only person Raish has ever called detective. It's Bruce and it's Tim.
Yeah, that's true.
So and in that he Raish gets a little ahead of himself, thinking that Tim is so much like Bruce. And there's a moment where he challenges him to a fight, but he has all Batman's loved ones in situations where they could possibly die. And Tim says to him, he's like, "See, here's the difference between me and Bruce. I actually have friends." And so he had Superboy went to save, Selena and Stephanie was back there at the time.
I don't have a problem asking him for help.
Exactly. Yeah. And Stephanie went to go save Leslie Thompson and Bart went to save, you know what I mean? Like everyone was around and he had I I can save these people. And then he was willing to, and he made the sacrifice because Raish kicked his ass. He was just stalling, essentially, and kicked him out of a window and was just like, I did my job.
Right.
Like, I made him proud. You know, Bruce he's talking about. He's like, I made him proud. And then, guess who comes? I mean, the one we all love. Dick comes and scoops him up in the air. And I'm just like, oh. This fucking family, man. Like, I wish we had it back. I miss it so much. I miss it so much, man.
Well, the way it's going,
it ain't look like it's coming back, man.
Yeah.
It's becoming more and more broken.
So let's get through Kevin's pick here because I really want to get to the news.
Yeah, Marauders. Yeah,
Not too much happened in X-Men or Marauders.
that's true.
But see, the X-Men book was good.
It was. I liked the thing with Destiny and then the reveal of Destiny knowing and remembering this iteration of Mara's of life before she's killed.
Yeah.
And then you get the tidbit of Mystique has only been helping with the formation of Kokora because Xavier and Magneto promised her that they will resurrect Destiny. And she's like, bring me back my wife.
Yeah.
And then they're just stalling, but they have no intention of bringing her back.
No.
Right, because there's still something that they haven't told everyone.
Right.
And obviously,
Which
Destiny,
Moira. One is Moira.
Right.
Because she's dead in this, but she's alive. Like,
right,
everyone believes she's
place,
dead.
right.
And she's in the secret thing. Right. Because this is still that timeline where, Justin, I think you would remember this timeline better of Moira's been dead, but then in hiding. Because she took herself out of the equation.
Yes. But the thing I liked about this book was it was the continuation of the Nimrod storyline.
Yeah.
Where you have all the stuff with the Ocarus base near the sun, and now they've actually expanded so that Mercury has defense platforms and Venus has mining platforms and stuff like they've just expanded further, and they're moving and they're getting closer and closer and closer to building Nimrod to the point where they even say it's not the mother mold that created Nimrod. We're thinking now it's this scientist, which is what I said in the beginning was the fact that it was that one guy. Who was like, they kept saying he's a strategist, he's the master of this guy, and he died, and then at the end they were like, well, bring me his thought patterns, and they're going to do something with him. I think he's going to be Nimrod. Right,
and then the wife being the scientist character who is motivated to bring him back.
Exactly.
And any means necessary.
Exactly. And then you see them building what looks like Nimrod armor.
Right.
Yeah. So they're getting closer and closer. And this just goes to what he's saying. It's inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what.
And I just like the way they got all this new info was sending Mystique doing reconnaissance. And I like how you get the tidbits of Orkis, and then you get, when you flash back to Orkis in the different contexts, it's like, oh, that one like courier was actually Mystique. Yeah. It was that right.
And then, they planted a seed on the
right for a gateway. Bro, I was like, what? That's so sick.
Yeah. So did they? But they don't know. The people at Orcus doesn't know the seed's there.
As far as we know,
how weird. Okay. And it's like it's a pretty big gateway. I was like, how do you just ignore that in your garden?
Yeah, true.
But remember, they decimated like half the population, if not most of the population.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it could be in a garden and there's just nobody there to tend it. You know.
Oh, and also, mutant powers are maybe using something to hide it, to cloak it from people being aware of it.
Maybe. But they did say, because Mystique was about to cross, and she's like, how do I know there's not an ambush on the other side? And we're like, we don't know. Let us know.
Yeah.
When I said Wolverine first.
It's really, you're seeing Xavier be the most ruthless he can be.
With her.
Yeah.
And he's just like, look.
It just shows they don't trust her.
No. And they shouldn't. Mystique is of all the people, especially. But I do like, he's got so many, Jonathan Hickman's got so many fucking rods in the fire right now. Because you didn't like it, but I really like the old woman story where they came in. I thought that was cool.
The
Golden Girls. I thought it was an interesting take.
I dug it.
And then I love this machine storyline, and he seems to be piecemealing it. Like, okay, one issue we're going to deal with this, then one issue here, and then one issue, and it's just like, give me some cohesion.
But because he's smart, he knows I brought all the mutants together, villains and all, so there's not going to be any more villains. Now I need to create who are the new threats in this new world.
Right.
Oh yeah,
and it makes sense. It's all
but yet the villains are still kind of
being villains,
right?
You know what I mean? Like Mystique, you can't trust.
Right,
Apocalypse is still up to something.
Scheming, but they're not trying to conquer mutant kind. Mutant kind's already all together.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out how to bend it to their will.
Right. So that was X-Men 6.
Which was good. Yeah.
To me, just the big thing of X-Force was that the Domino going out to these people who skin graft or whatever.
And they've stolen her luck.
Right, and then there's all right, and I love that tidbit. Like, there's been this crazy amount of like overly lucky assassinations.
Oh, I did read it.
So they find a pattern of it's always human sympathizers. So they go, okay, what's the next big public event, including the sympathizer of going? I think it's going west or something like that. In this like crazy pattern, and when Domino is there, they find the assassin is a chase, and I like the ending. It's Domino, like it's someone that looks like Domino, and I was like, oh shit, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, remember Domino's been cloned before too. And then for years, Copycat was Domino.
That's right.
X-Force.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
we haven't seen her.
Right. That's what I was thinking. It could be Copycat. I didn't think that.
It's a possibility. Yeah. So okay, I remember. I did read X-Force.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. I liked it.
Copy Power as well.
Yep. Yeah. It's like, which is weird because it's kind of aren't those Hope's powers?
Hope? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, doesn't Hope Summer enhance power?
No,
she can copy it and then
Right.
use it at its heightened ability.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
So maybe that's the difference
Like
between the two. Yeah.
Like maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it uses it at the heightened ability?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much
But
extra stuff I don't know.
it's not
But
funny.
Hope's labeled as an Omega though.
Yes.
So I'm wondering what. I guess it's got to be that and something else.
Yeah.
But I don't
It makes me wonder, why didn't they use Hope with Darwin when they entered the vault?
Because they needed Hope for something else.
Probably.
Maybe.
Oh, but Hope is in case somebody dies. They need Hope there.
Oh yeah, she's one of the
She's
Yeah.
one of the 5.
That's right. She is one of the 5. You're right.
Or Scott sent her away, like he sent her with them.
Right, because it was Darwin, it was X-23 and Mimic. Okay,
Mimic.
yeah.
Mimic to Mimic, Darwin, and X-23 to survive.
The Darwin to adapt.
Right.
But I still really love that moment where they're like, why not take Wolverine? And she's like, I am Wolverine.
Yeah.
And Wolverine's like, atta girl. It was so good. I just want to know, I was like, Hickman is so clever and acting on such like another playing field with writing.
Yeah.
But he still gets those characters.
For
man.
sure.
He
For
really
sure.
understands those characters.
And that's the thing, as a devoted X-23 fan.
Yeah.
I mean, she's tattooed on my arm. Like I love that, to recognize that,
Right.
and not don't beat you over the head with it, but just like, all right, like we know, like there's two.
Wolverine knows. Wolverine's
Yeah, it's like,
I know. Yeah,
we got
it's
2
cool.
Hawkeyes, we got 2 Wolverines, we got
Yep.
2 Spider-Men. Like,
Right.
we're here.
And
You got 2 Spirals.
the other really good X book, of course, is Marauders.
Yeah.
I think like half of us are on.
Phenomenal.
This one is just dealing with the rest of the team, the
Mhm.
Marauders, finding out that Kate is dead. So then I really like, my favorite confrontation was when Storm finds out, she confronts Emma Frost at
Which
the
the cover
White
made so
Palace.
much more sense.
Dude, and she smacks the
Yeah,
shit
she
out of
does.
her. And she takes it.
Mm-hmm.
She was
takes
right.
it.
Right, I
It was
deserve
so
that.
good.
I deserve
Storm
that.
was right.
It was so awesome. To me, that
Yeah,
was my
and then they
favorite
embrace,
confrontation.
and it's like, oh, fuck, man.
But I like how they bring it up to Sebastian, and he goes, "Why would I do any of this?" He goes, "Maybe I'll reap the benefits of this, but I had nothing to do." I love it. I love hating
He's so
him.
sleazy,
To
yeah.
me, he's becoming like I
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, I love
Except
to hate
he's smart.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, that same.
So he's a little more. So he's more Tyler.
yeah. I dig it. I'm really
For
digging
sure.
Marauders,
For sure.
and only because the Hellfire Club is really heightening
Yeah.
the villainy and scheming within on the island of Krakoa.
Right, because that's almost the worry, right? When you create this utopia, will
Right.
there be an adversary? But obviously, there are a lot of them. You know,
And everyone has their own agenda.
yeah. What as far as confrontations are concerned, I loved Bobby's.
Yes, I was just gonna say.
Oh.
I told George, if you have not read this yet,
It was great.
to me the one word was Bobby,
Mm.
and this showcases why and how he's an Omega level
Mhm.
mutant.
No, you said
go ahead, George.
frostbite. That was what you told me. Frostbite.
But I was
Yeah.
underplaying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he freezes them in a way to where he tells them like,
Well, to explain, it's like he gets mad, and so
Mhm.
they go back to Madripoor,
yes,
thinking that's what she was. That is what she died, but thinking it was them.
well, right, because they had
And
to
I
get
love
they had to get Bishop, because Bishop had the body.
right,
Yeah.
and Bro, he's
And it's like,
freezing.
we're here.
He's freezing this like steel door, and they're like, "Oh, unless Magneto's on the other side, we don't have anything to worry about." And then you start seeing cold breath, and like, boy, you start seeing
Like
like
fingers start freezing up.
fingers freezing, and their ends of their guns.
The muzzles.
Nice.
Like, he controlled the temperature in that room to a pinpoint
It
precision.
was
Well, I mean,
crazy.
that's his powers. He can manipulate it at a molecular level.
Yeah, that's why he's
When
Omega.
he, when he rips open that door, and you see the big bubble,
Mhm.
murderers. Even I'm reading, I'm like, oh, I'm scared for these dudes now.
His eyes,
Yes.
the way they were drawn, just made me shiver. I was like, oh, I've never seen this kind of man before.
To me, the art almost looked like it made him look like an ice monster, man.
Yeah.
It looks scary.
Like straight out of fantasy.
Yeah, like those shoulder pads, they look spiky.
Yeah, he always does. Yeah.
Dude.
Because he's angry, so
Oh,
his
man.
form reflects his emotions.
It was, man, that was great, man.
Bishop did go on that mission to go find her.
Yeah.
Like on the
Find her
boat
body.
when he was all covered up.
Well, if you remember, for the
Vitamin C.
reincarnation process, you need to have confirmation of death.
Yes.
Right.
So he went there on the hunch to see what's going on,
Mhm.
and when they found that ship that was sunk, they pulled up her body. Now, they did say that they wanted to get her into DNA testing.
Yes.
So they wanted her ability to go through stuff or something to that nature.
Right.
Because these hominis verendi are trying to just engineer themselves better. And it
I
looks
guess
like
could
they're
they
stealing
use
stuff.
her DNA, I guess, a la what they did with Domino
Yeah.
to get in through the gates,
That looks
possibly?
like it's one of the things they're working on.
Yeah, but they don't know she can't cross.
Right. Oh, right. They don't know. They just,
And then-
we got a mutant, and that's kind of
And then that's why Sebastian believes she can't be resurrected. But everyone, all of the Marauders and everyone in Kokora believes she can't be resurrected on the island.
I feel like
So we don't know. I kind of like
I
how
feel like she can.
I like how the characters in the story are just as confused as us.
Yeah.
That no one knows if she could be resurrected or not.
Yeah.
Sorry, so some of the artwork was so iconic.
Yeah.
Like when they show Bishop staring out into the ocean and just seeing her body floating in there.
It's creepy. It's eerie.
It's eerie.
Do we know what happened to Loki? Or
Yeah, actually,
he's alive.
He's being like resuscitated by this like Madripoor girl.
okay,
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because they like found him on the street or something, and she's like, "No, I can save it."
Yeah, she's been like feeding it. Like like how you see Loki, he has like a little belly growing.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Dude, look at that
what a
ice
shot,
sickle.
man!
Bro,
What a
and
shot!
that little bubble, murderers. It's crazy. But I like how it starts showcasing him freezing them, but he's not even like blasting them.
No.
He's controlled the room so much. Bro, he just grabs an arm and rips it off.
Yeah.
And it comes clean off. It's so gross. It's so grotesque. It's awesome.
Man.
It's so awesome, man.
And he's like, and he does it to a point. He's like, "I'm not killing you, but you will forever know this feeling."
oh yeah,
He explains frostbite because I mean, to understand his power better, I guess he looked into everything. It's just like the pain of frostbite never goes away.
Yeah.
And that's an actual thing. Like if you look that up, survivors who have had frostbite always say that the ghost limb effect.
That's
So
crazy.
that dude's gonna be
That's
feeling
like
that.
Phantom
limb. There we go. That's the word.
when they find out that Shaw did this,
Oh,
oh my god,
Ooh, it's gonna go down because everyone likes Kate.
it's gonna be gay. They're gonna put him on trial, and
Right, and they might do the same
right, because they
thing.
set the rules. That's the whole.
Well, they
This
might
is why
do the
Hickman's
Sabertooth
so great.
thing,
Maybe,
but then they
yes.
need someone in charge
Right.
of the black market stuff. So would that be
Shinobi.
Shinobi? But Shinobi was in on the conspiracy.
Right.
You can
They
say,
don't know that.
they'll find out.
They gotta
You never
know.
know.
They
This
gotta
might be setting up Shinobi to take over as the Black King.
possibly.
But if he knows,
And he did
But
bring
I
in
wouldn't trust him. Though.
and he brought in his own knights.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him though.
The Fenris siblings.
right.
Fenrir.
It wouldn't
Fenris,
even-
from the Mutants TV show.
it wouldn't
Yeah.
even matter.
Gifted.
Because what Apocalypse is up to is way worse than this.
Of course.
They're gonna focus more on Apocalypse.
I mean, I know
think
what
the,
Sinister's doing.
the scary thing, Joe, is just that Sebastian Shaw is he's literally in a position of power.
Yeah.
I know.
You got me?
That's what
Controlling the black
Well, yeah,
market.
Apocalypse too. Yeah.
Apocalypse too.
True.
Yeah.
And what he's doing,
It's all
That's
gonna,
like-
it's all gonna come together.
That's the best part of a story. It's like you just want everybody to be happy,
Right.
and
That's
they
like, you're finally out of
can't.
utopia.
It's
Why
like,
can't you
and
just
it,
get your
and
shit
it
together?
doesn't. It just won't work.
Yeah.
Nobody will let
guys
it
will always
happen.
be back.
Because human flaws
Yeah,
still happen
Yeah.
in humans.
we're all fallible. It's like it's
true.
just
Especially some of these mutants that are just way too old for their
it's
own
like
good.
like the sports analogy of it would be like you want to win, but you want to be the reason why we win.
Right.
You know what I
Everyone
mean?
wants
Yeah.
to be the
You want to be
MVP.
the LeBron of-
Exactly,
of the
exactly.
team, of course.
So like Apocalypse is cool, all mutants are together, but he wanted to be the reason
Right.
all mutants mutants came together.
So that was
Hubris.
X-Men 6, X-Force 6, and Marauders 8.
Yeah, great stuff.
Great books.
Yeah.
X-Men stuff is still kicking ass.
So now we can finally move on. I just want to get through those quickly.
Not
Because,
far
bro, now we're about to get, this week, like 4 X-Men books.
Yes.
Yeah.
X-Men,
Really?
yeah,
Excalibur.
X-Men, X-Force, oh my god, Excalibur, X-Men and Fantastic Four. All of that is giant-sized.
We have some
Yeah.
giant
Yeah.
books going up, which
Oh,
I know
I'm
we were
so
gonna get
excited.
giant books.
Russell Daughter and Hickman. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I'm so
I
excited.
can't wait for that one.
Or is it?
Yeah, go
So-
ahead, Justin. What's
Okay,
next?
so
Trailers, news.
Do we
well,
have trailers?
we just
We
did
just about the
Transformers.
Transformers.
Oh yeah, that shit looked great.
Yeah, I mean, it looked good.
Minor tidbit. I'm not sure if we were going to talk about that, especially with
Mhm.
with Jeff here. Are we going to talk about then?
That's the big thing. I really wanted to get to that.
Oh yeah, let's do
I
that.
really wanted to get that.
Okay.
So we'll talk to trailers real quick
Okay.
because the Transformers trailer was cool. My only gripe is that it's not Peter Cullen as,
Yeah.
as
That's what I said.
Optimus, but I like who they got to be
Megatron?
Megatron.
Yeah.
So
He
and
sounded
I'm,
good.
Yeah, and I'm loving the look.
Yeah,
this.
it looks
Great.
It does look really
And
good.
you know who's producing this, right? You know Rooster Teeth's producing
Rooster
this.
Teeth.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's like I'm interested to see what's going on with this. So because Rooster Teeth, they're an improv comedy crew.
Well,
so-
it's basically the start of the war. It's Megatron gathering the Decepticons, Optimus gathering the
Yeah.
Autobots.
Isn't that kind of what the comic book was?
And the
going
video
on
game.
yeah, but we've never actually had like a
visual.
movie, a visual representation of that.
And so your
Sort
point
of
about
have.
Rooster Teeth,
The,
they,
the
yeah,
video
but-
game. did
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like there's always referred
Right.
to in every version of
Yeah.
Transformers, but nobody's ever actually shown it.
True.
You know.
but to your point of Rooster Teeth being an improv type organization, they've branched out from that a lot.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying it's interesting to see them branch out so far to do this.
Yeah,
You know?
Which that is true. I never would have. I mean, you would have told me Rooster Teeth's going to do a great Transformer movie. But,
Yeah. But it's also like saying, Seth MacFarlane's going to do a better Star Trek than Star Trek, and you know.
Wow.
And then the Orville came out and go.
Oh, so is it a movie or is it a series?
It's a series.
Okay.
12 episodes, I believe. Starts in
Okay.
June.
Okay. I'm in.
what
I'm
is it
on
going to
it.
be on
Netflix.
Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
So
bingeable.
the big news, I think, the big news of the week is the leaving / firing of Dan DiDio. However you want to read the
Huge.
story, however you want to read it, that story.
Every headline said he exited.
The
No,
story exited,
yeah.
but there's some people saying he was fired.
Yeah, that he clashed a lot with Snyder.
So it depends on what you read.
Mm.
Because some people are saying he had something to do with it. Some people are saying it's the fifth gen thing has
It's the
something to do with
combination.
it. But I'm reading an article today saying that the fifth gen's going ahead full speed. So
Which is-
it doesn't matter that he's leaving; they're still doing it.
So what is that?
What they
The
want to
needle
do,
goes.
Well, before that,
53.
explain. Dan DiDio is chief editor.
he was editor in chief with Jim Lee of
Yes,
DC Comics.
right, because it says co.
Did he have
It's
anything
saying
to do with
co-publisher.
Rick? Because if he did, good riddance.
Well,
Bye, Felicia.
well, Dan DiDio came up with the New 52. Like that was his.
But see, he
Also,
also.
wasn't terrible.
It was.
But
For you.
in addition to coming
That's
up
where I
with
jumped back into
Mhm.
comics. So.
But in addition to 52, he was also flagship for Blackest Night,
Mhm.
for Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
Oh, he had some good for sure.
Yeah,
he had
good
some good for
runs,
sure.
good runs.
Yeah,
It's a good shit.
I'm sure he had a hand in Damien becoming Damien.
Okay.
So
I don't want to
Okay.
give him that much credit. I'll leave that to Grant Morrison.
and you
Fair
gotta
enough,
have to,
yeah.
that you still have to give him
Morrison
credit.
created
I know.
You got to give him credit for Cassandra.
Okay.
He was there when Cassandra became Batgirl.
Ah, man.
Do I have to give him credit for that though?
Don't do it.
If you're
You don't have to, but it's kind of there.
I don't know if I want to give him credit for it because I specifically remember reading with I think it was the first issue of Stephanie as Batgirl, and he promised big plans for Cassandra, and they were not. And what is she now? A glorified role player in most of these.
She's a pickpocket.
That they changed the outfit to some stupid looking shit, and now her name's Orphan. Like, don't tell me big plans for Cassandra Cain, and then don't give me them.
Well, what I'm just saying is, like, he was there running stuff when
Oh,
most of this
yeah.
shit went down.
I got you.
A lot of the things you like,
Mhm.
he did. Now, was the hand and it all getting fucked up.
Right.
So
Right.
that has to count for something
Yeah.
too. So I'm with you on that.
Mhm.
When you said he's the reason why you don't read a
Yeah.
lot of HGJT, I was like, I gotta hear this.
Yeah.
And then hearing you talking about
Mhm.
Batman and the Bat family and stuff, I was like, I get it. I get it
He took
totally.
it all away.
Yeah, I don't even need to hear it
Yeah.
anymore. I understand where you're coming
He took
from.
it all away.
And I say you're right, because that was the biggest fallout for me for New 52 was taking all that bad history, which I'm not even a big Batman fan, but I love the bad history.
Yes.
Right.
And taking all that bad history and basically saying we're going to nitpick what we like and throw away the rest.
Right, and then consolidate it to 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, in 5 years you went through 4 fucking Robins?
Yeah, it's like, you are terrible.
God.
you're the protector of Gotham?
Not even for Robins, because he took away Tim from ever being Robin.
Yeah.
Tim was always Red Robin.
Oh my God.
Tell me fucking about it.
How do you
Tell me about it.
How do you do that? So.
I'm like, hold on. So Tim had a Robin book for 18 years, 185 issues, and he was never Robin? Are we serious?
That's crazy.
Are we serious?
One of the most popular Robins.
Like,
So what is the hierarchy at DC of...
well, I guess it was DiDio and Lee, right?
Right, as what? Editors-in-chief.
Yeah.
Cole.
And
And
then-
Buck stops with them.
Yeah.
And it
The only-
stops with them?
The only people who are higher up are now are the AT&T management because they bought.
Right.
Warner
So then
Media.
who would be...
Where was Johns in all this?
John
John was below them. He was the
Okay.
third.
He was
He was chief creative officer.
chief creative,
Okay.
right. So
Which
that's
he
below.
stepped down from.
Yeah, right. Because
So-
he was supposed to be.
So who
did
took
the
over
movies.
that? Jim Lee. Jim Lee
Yeah,
took
he
over.
pulled
yeah.
it. Yeah. So now Jim Lee, basically, and the way I love the way
man.
Bleeding Cool framed the article, because there's a lot of humor in that
Mhm.
article, but basically it sounds like Jim Lee woke up and he goes, I'm doing what now? Everything? What the fuck?
Oh wow!
Because
Because,
he's in movies too, right?
well, yeah, that was the
He-
thing. When Jeff Johns stepped down, Jim Lee took over the
Mhm.
chief creative officer role, so he had that role. Basically, Jim Lee was the guy who went out, he was the Ronald McDonald of DC Comics.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a sad, but it's true. He was the one they paraded out
Yeah.
with Dan
He was the
DiDio,
face for sure.
and he was like, "Look at all the cool shit we're doing this
They
year."
had all the
And-
cons.
And he was all, and Dan DiDio was standing right next to him, going, "I'm the guy. I'm the paper pusher. I'm the one that's okaying this shit. This is what we're doing." And then basically they said, "Okay, Ronald McDonald, you remember how you had your Hamburglar with you? We fired the Hamburglar,
Yeah.
so it's all you, buddy. You know, you're running. We fired the Hamburglar and Mayor McCheese, so you're
I
running
feel-
McDonald's
I feel in
now."
a couple of months we're gonna get some announcements. Snyder's probably gonna be creative.
Does he want that
But
though?
that's
I don't
the
know.
thing. That's the thing because okay, so the story goes
Because
back
despite
to-
us as a podcast, we don't read a lot of the Snyder stuff, but it
Yeah.
sells.
Dude, because of
If
Batman.
you see
Because
every
of
month
Morales.
what's in the top 5 or stuff, anything that touches the DC Metal
Mhm.
event
Yeah.
or anything Snyder does or Black Label is always what's always top 5.
which is surprising to me because I got bored with DC.
Right, as a podcast, we're not even covering what's the most selling.
Like I love the images coming out of heavy metal.
Yeah.
I think those images look great, but I'm not like, I
Part of
can't
the
wait for the
story,
series. I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, I thought they were calling it death metal.
Death metal, that's what
Yeah.
it is.
That's amazing.
But-
As a metalhead, that's so awesome.
But the scenes of Batman on a motorcycle with a giant scythe. Come
Right.
on, that's
Mhm.
fucking awesome. But so Jeff's question was, what's 5G? 5G. Okay, so you remember when they were talking about how Wonder Woman was going to become the first DC superhero when
Yes.
they're changing the history again? That's what's going to be, is that Wonder Woman's first DC hero, and they're going to move forward from there. But they're going to stay within their eras, meaning that Diana is no longer but Wonder Woman in our timeline. Clark Kent is no longer Superman in our timeline. Bruce Wayne is no longer Batman in our timeline. They fit into their eras, and then that's where it stops. The Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman of the today are new characters that have taken over for
They're
them,
taking the mantle.
taken the mantles. So these stories exist. Yeah, I can see Joe about ready to lose his mind. These
What?
stories exist,
Mhm.
but okay. So Wonder Woman say started in 1940. Well, I
Okay.
know I'm just throwing a number
Okay.
out there.
Yeah.
And then Diana ran until
Okay.
say 1975,
Okay.
and then should have stopped there. That's what happens. She stopped in 1975, and then somebody took over for her and became Wonder Woman. Whether it be Cassie Sandsmark or somebody completely new, because the new Batman was supposed to be a black guy.
Wait a second.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah.
Wait a second. So
Yeah, didn't it say
So if
Batman?
Batman is no longer always perpetually 35 or 34, however old.
he's gonna actually age.
Yes,
And someone else is going to
But
pick up the
is
Bruce
he-
mantle.
Wayne. Bruce Wayne. I
But
should say
is he
Wayne.
Bruce?
He's Bruce Wayne, but Batman is not Bruce Wayne.
But Diana's a god; she can't age.
But she only
But her
runs
story.
within her era. Okay, somebody is now taking. So
Just like
you know how you've read. So the people who've read Wonder Woman since the beginning and have gone, wow, she's never aged. She should have gotten older,
right.
or at least have stopped being Wonder Woman after 70 years of being Wonder Woman. They're saying, yeah, you're right. She shouldn't have been. She's going to exist within an era, and then somebody is going to have taken over for her. Just like Superman. Superman came out in 1939, existed for a certain amount of time, and then somebody has taken over for him and is now the new Superman.
Bruce Wayne as Batman.
Who's the new Superman?
Don't know yet.
Yeah, they haven't really
Given
said.
this all this stuff is supposed to be dropped at Comic-Con San Diego.
You can tell AT&T took over because now they're calling this shit 5G. These guys took.
Some of the articles are saying that AT&T did not want this because they have so many properties based on the current lineup.
That's some of the reasons they're giving for why they got rid of Dan DiDio. Dan DiDio was a champion of this. He's saying, this is what we're doing. And they're saying, well, we got a Batman movie coming out with Bruce Wayne as Batman. We're trying to put a Superman movie into production with Clark Kent as Superman. How are these things supposed to connect?
I'm so fucking confused.
I mean, at this point, it didn't need to connect to the comics. The comic readers are going to keep reading.
But see, that's the other side of the coin, is that there are rumors going around saying that the AT&T Warner is basically getting ready to just shutter the entire DC Comics line completely.
I mean, they have been printing less.
They're saying that one of the rumors that came out of this was saying that if 5G didn't succeed, like Ethan Van Siever said this, so to take that with a grain of salt, he's a little loopy. He said that he had heard that if 5G doesn't succeed, DC Comics is done. They're closing the doors and they're no longer producing comics. They're going to the characters aren't going anywhere. They're still going to make movies and stuff like that. They're just no longer going to publish comics anymore. And then the newest rumor, which is a bunch of shit, but I guess in this day and age, you got to believe what you can believe. There's rumors now saying that they're going to give the publishing rights to DC Comics to Marvel to let them publish because I don't know, maybe they feel that they can do it better. These are just what I've been reading.
Okay? Yeah, I did read that rumor, and I was like, that is retarded.
Dude, that's baffling.
Can you imagine that? Marvel writing Superman, Diana, and...
Well, it's the idea of giving it to Kevin Feige.
I mean, to that point, Donnie Cates, podcast favorite, he already has publicly said, I have a 5-year plan for Batman if they ever hire me as a writer. Donnie Cates' Batman would be incredible.
There's been so many things coming out of this. The other thing that they're saying is that now DC is going forward with the writers for comics. They're going to focus on getting more Hollywood writers into the comics and kind of away from
Margot Robbie's going to start writing comics.
No, not like that. No, they're saying like bring Berlanti back to DC because he wrote comics before and then he went and did Arrowverse. Bring him back. Have James Gunn write a comic.
Kevin Smith.
Well, he's always written comics. They're saying now that they've got Abrams in Warner, that maybe Abrams can do something like he did with Spider-Man and his son. So these are all the things that are spading out of this. The main thing that to take away from this is that Dan DiDio, who has been basically one of the faces of DC for the last 20 years, is gone.
Can we bring him back?
He went in Saturday. They said, turn in your laptop, clean out your desk, get the fuck out. Now, whether he said...
He got 4G.
Whether he said, I'm leaving, or they said, get the fuck out, we don't know.
I'm so fucking confused.
Can we bring him back? Because anything you laid out sounds way worse. Way worse than Rick.
Yeah, so who the fuck is Batman? Wait, okay, hold on. So when is this supposed to start? You said Comic-Con.
October 5G, yeah.
They're supposed to lay it all out.
5G starts out in Comic-Con.
Yeah,
they're supposed to lay it all out. You're supposed to get the preview for it. You're supposed to get the preview for it in Free Comic Book Day.
What?
The Lucas Fox, right?
Why?
He will be Batman. Who will be Superman? The Chinese kid?
Oh, I don't know.
The Chinese Superman?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Or maybe it'll just be Jonathan. I hope it's just fucking Jonathan. It
would explain why all I know is they said that Batman was supposed to be a black guy.
Well, I mean,
which is Luke.
But then they don't know. It could be the Signal.
Duke.
What?
Oh, Lord.
See, that's that face and that expression is what is scaring a lot of people, and that's why they're saying maybe that's why because he's been like, no, we got to do it, and people have been like,
so wait, DiDio's been wanting to do this change?
Yes, because 52 didn't work out. Rebirth worked, but it still has a lot of problems. This is again another let's change things around.
Reboot.
My head hurts.
I'm sure that came out.
You're like, ching, see ya.
Because this is my issue. You had a new Batman. His name was Dick Grayson.
Right.
He was great.
But Dick Grayson was Nightwing. He was his own character. You can't forsake one character for another.
Especially one who's pretty popular.
No, but before the New 52, he was Batman. It was Batman Incorporated. Batman was the global Batman. Dick Grayson was the Batman of Gotham.
Oh.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And then the New 52 came around.
Sure.
And then they put him back to Nightwing.
Yeah, Batman Incorporated was fantastic.
It was.
The fact that they got destroyed because of New 52 does suck. But then Green Lantern had a lot of good stuff.
But that's so you keep
That's
you do the New 52 just to reboot it again with Rebirth, just to reboot it again with 5G.
the trajectory that Justin is saying about possibly Warner's closing the offices of DC.
But why the fuck would they do that?
It kind of pans out because DC has been printing less and less. If you see the releases of Marvel books versus DC books,
Right.
dude, it's 12 books of DC and 20 to 25 or something of Marvel books a week. It's crazy. But then, yeah, DC, we are talking shit about it, but they're always in the top 5, top 10 books. Batman's always going to sell. The Black Label is selling like crazy.
So why would you? I don't understand why would you would get rid of that.
I don't. Yeah,
Profitability. It's all about numbers to AT&T.
5G guys came in.
This is me joining Joe's camp of fuck Warner Brothers for messing with shit like
It's
this.
not Warner Bros. Though. It's AT&T.
Warner Brothers has messed with it for years.
Now
Now
it's the new
AT&T is
heads.
messing with it.
You can tell it's
Yeah,
the
but
new
Warner
guys.
Brothers never went as far as we're gonna stop letting you guys make fucking comics.
Isn't that? Yeah, isn't that all under the same umbrella?
Right,
of
but
Warner?
AT&T
Because
guys
AT&T
take
bought
over.
Warner.
Right, but they're the ones on top of them. So these are these guys making these decisions.
Okay, I should do this thing. I'm sorry, I was looking up the 5Gen thing.
Yeah, the 5th gen.
I say
just
we
don't
move-
understand.
I say we move on till we know more because
Yeah,
that's
please.
too much ways away.
Okay,
Yeah, we've already passed 2 hours.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I'll say that.
I will
Let's
give,
wrap,
let me
wrap with the master.
let me give you
You got some more?
me
Yeah,
give you
'cause I'm
this little
just
tidbit here.
confused about.
Okay, so you have the Wonder Woman would be the first to replace. They're all being portrayed as older than they actually are. Is one of the things.
Mhm.
So you have Jonathan
So
Kent
DC
replacing
Beyond?
Clark Kent as Superman. You have Luke Fox replacing Batman.
See?
Okay, you have, and on top of that, the book is going to be written by 12 Years a Slave's John Ridley IV. You have Captain Boomerang's kid replace Barry Allen as the Flash.
Right.
And you have Joe Mullion of Far Sector would replace Hal Jordan as Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Earth One Aquaman being repurposed as for Aquaman. And then, but I love the way they say this. It's both they'll everything will be introduced in a Convergence style Band-Aid to help.
Yeah, but Convergence didn't work either.
Yeah, to help the creative teams get ahead of schedule as well as a brand new Crisis for 2020.
No, I think the best thing at this point
Why is Luke Fox becoming Batman?
is do the Black Label thing. Every creative team should just focus on their respective stories, whether they want to honor past history or not. It's entirely up to the creative team. I think that's the best way to go.
You know, because that sounds like they're trying to. It sounds like they're trying to copy Marvel.
Yeah,
Because that sounds like
always.
that sounds like Ta-Nehisi Coates on Captain America. That sounds like.
Yeah.
We'll get the 12 Years a Slave dude and make Luke Fox Batman. Why is he Batman?
to me, even Duke would have made more sense.
Right,
But
there's how many people are ahead of Luke Fox before?
A lot.
the Black Family is 9 people now. They're like the Brady Bunch of the
Yeah.
DC.
Well, I mean, Bruce Wayne
Who
might
the
still
fuck
think he got-
decided Luke Fox should be Batman?
I guess the PC thing.
That's not a PC thing. That feels like pandering.
I know
Okay,
exactly.
go in that direction then. Yeah,
That feels like pandering.
It's
It's 100%
pretty much what it is.
And it doesn't make sense for the story.
when do these things make? Why does it have to make sense for the story? It's comics.
It should make sense,
I
though.
agree with you, but it doesn't normally.
Oh my god.
That's my.
And I like Luke Fox. He's what?
maybe the story will make sense. Only time will tell.
But it doesn't. If Dick can easily be Batman, if Tim can easily be Batman, hell, fucking Cass could be fucking Batman. Anybody but like how many people are ahead of him before we get to Luke Fox?
I mean, it'll be Batman like Dick.
All right, well,
Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's move on. The last thing I'll say on this is because of him leaving, there is an idea that now, instead of this being the new future running forward, that this will only be a limited thing from now.
It should definitely be a limited thing.
Yeah,
We don't know what the next thing's going to be.
I mean,
So we don't have anything else on that. We just know that Dan DiDio is no longer the face of DC Comics.
I mean, which is like cool, good riddance, but like, don't. Why are you gonna fire him and then continue what he was gonna do by fucking it up?
Because they already have everything kind of set
Like in place.
So they still kind of. I mean, they don't want to scrap months of work and pay and everything. You know,
Does any of that sound like it's gonna work?
No.
not to me, but that I'm not. You know, I'm not on the pulse of what people. You know, I tend to not be in the world of things that people like. So
Like I don't know, man. I feel like Marvel did it so much more. And granted, people bitch and complain about it, but from Steve to Sam was organic. From
Because there was a story.
right, from Odin's son to Jane was organic.
Super.
From
great.
Logan to Laura was
Great.
organic. Like
Great.
these things were Miles coming from the Ultimate Universe, or get like Kamala Khan. Like these things were organic. This just sounds like Marvel made this dude black, so we got to make Batman black. Like
Yeah,
what?
it sounds like a reset button.
Yeah, like
Instead of story.
Look,
that's what they're using.
in a day and age where you're trying to garner as much business, because remember, this medium is dying. We're the
Right.
last vestiges. We
Right,
we
for
will,
sure.
this generation will probably be the last generation of comic book
Mhm.
movies. When you're trying to grab as much of the landscape as you possibly can, you have to do radical things to get people's attention.
that nobody's gonna read that.
I tend to agree with you.
Like, if you think a bunch of black people are gonna come in because Batman's
But
black,
how many
it's not gonna
people?
work.
How many people fucking lost their goddamn minds when they killed Superman? Even though everybody
This
knew.
isn't killing Superman.
But what I'm saying is, it's a gimmick.
I get it.
It's a gimmick.
I mean,
Okay,
well,
it's to get people's attention.
Well, he came back alive. Does that mean Bruce is gonna become Batman again?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all,
Or
if
is
you
Lucas-
believe,
or is Lucas
if you
is gonna
believe that
say-
Luke Fox is going to be Batman for the rest of the time,
Like
you're crazy.
I know
That's
that.
never
Yeah, I
gonna
know. We always revert back to the media.
Yeah,
like
okay.
I understand that.
but what
I
I'm
just
saying
don't-
is, yeah, this is what they're doing, because they don't even have the popular sharehold. I mean, Marvel's got the popular sharehold right now, so they have to do whatever. Look, I'm not defending it. I think
No,
this is
I
the
get it.
worst-
You're trying to explain
This
it.
is,
You're
this
trying
is
to
the worst
explain it.
idea I've ever
It
heard.
doesn't. It
Okay?
just doesn't make.
taking Clark Kent not being Superman, Diana not being Wonder
Yeah.
Woman, Barry Allen.
But at
West.
least Clark
Yeah.
to Jonathan feels organic.
I would like to see that.
You know what I mean? Like that at least feels organic.
Yeah,
The,
But- and
the
I-
Bruce to Luke just feels like
that
what
to
the
me,
fuck?
that to me sounds like we need to get a bigger audience in this realm. Let's do this.
But you don't need a bigger audience for Batman because it's Batman.
I agree with you, but you and I think like
Mm.
comic book readers. These people
Fair
think like money people. Okay,
Yeah,
they're not
business.
thinking like
Business.
this has to make sense. They're just thinking about
$.
how many more dollar signs can
Yeah.
we assign to this. We need to, if you guys want to keep your jobs, you guys got to figure out something to keep your jobs. And they're just throwing shit against the wall until somebody goes, "That sounds like an idea we can run with. Let's do that." I mean, it's that's the way these things work.
Look, I'll stick to my non-continuity Elseworld type stories like
There
I've
you go.
been doing because that shit sounds ridiculous. That
So
sounds ridiculous.
all we're waiting for now is who's going to take over. Is Jim Lee, which I doubt, going to be the sole publisher of
Right, that
DC?
seems like-
That's
that seems
never
like a
going to
lot.
happen. Okay,
That
I'm
seems
sure
like a
DC.
lot.
I'm sure Jim Lee's reviewing his contract right now to figure out how to get out of this because he can barely keep his fucking writing schedule together.
Yeah.
I love Jim Lee to death, and I want to see him do more
Yeah.
stuff. But I
Yeah,
think
but
he would be nuts to go. Yeah, I can do all this.
Yeah, he can't.
Anybody.
Nobody,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Nobody can handle
You
all
need
that.
more people. I would like to see Jeff come in and be like, "Let's do this."
I mean,
but-
let's get him back to just comics and get him the fuck away from movies.
Yeah,
That's for
because
sure.
he's not doing
No.
anything over there.
Yeah.
He's sitting on his ass. So, or at least that's what it seems like.
Right,
So, I mean, we at least do something over here,
Mhm.
which we know you love.
right.
So,
Save it.
but we don't know anything. We just know that Dan DiDio's not there anymore. So,
I mean,
He got 4G.
that's
He got 4G. Yeah, that's what it is.
I will give
Man.
DiDio credit because of New 52. It did give me my definitive Wonder Woman run. Like Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chang.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Where they finally made her demigod.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
And I love that they made her.
So
a demigod.
I credit him for that, and obviously the Court of Owls and all those beginning Snyder Batman stories, like but yeah. See you later.
So for the last part of this, I don't really think we don't really have any time to get into any reviews today.
No, we don't have time for that.
Okay, so I guess we should just wrap it up here.
Sonic is good. Go see it.
Okay, Sonic's worth a look.
Way worth it. Look.
The funny thing is, I think I'm going to go see that before I'm going to go see Birds of Prey.
I did.
I mean,
It was a lot of fun, man. I have to admit, Birds of Prey was fun.
No, it's not that I don't
Sonic
want to
is
see
fun.
it. I just have a hard time getting myself motivated. Like I was going to go today, and then I'm just it's hard to be
Yeah, we
motivated.
can review it next week.
Yeah, I'll try and go see it. And I'll try and go see both, and we can review what we can review. So tune in next week. We're gonna have more comics. We got a lot more comics coming out. We should have some more reviews.
Not DC comics.
Yeah, right.
Hey, it's not only on Marvel; it's all X-Men.
Dude.
Yeah.
The
That's
X-Men
not all.
hour.
Oh, next week. Okay.
Next week, yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like
all the time.
So,
Well, I'll throw in some. Are we doing it Monday next week?
Let's see.
if you'll be here,
Okay. Yeah. Because Curse of White Knight 7 comes out, so I'm
Okay.
definitely reading that. So.
all right.
I'm
So
down for Monday.
tune in next. We'll have some more comic reads. We should have some more. Maybe we'll have more info on what's going on. We should have more reviews. We got 2 episodes. Actually, we're going to have 3 episodes of Picard to review. We've got at least 3 episodes of The Outsider to talk about, especially after last night.
Fuck yeah.
We got. We might have some movies to talk about. We might actually have to do just an all review episode just to catch up.
I'm seeing The Invisible Man this Friday, so
Next week is Onward, which I'm looking forward to. So.
yeah,
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
watching that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because spring is about to hit, so
It's-
we're gonna start
For
getting
the
we're gonna
next, I mapped it out for the next 2 months. I'm seeing a movie every Friday. There's something in the theater that I want to see every Friday.
And then in April,
And then I think we get like a 2-week break, and then it's Black Widow.
Yeah, shows are picking up too.
Mhm.
Hunters, Clone
Yeah.
Wars.
Yep.
yeah.
It's a bunch of stuff.
In April, we get the new Bond. Which I
Mhm.
can't wait for. Oh my god.
But yeah, follow us on Rogue Nation Pod. Hit us like and subscribe on YouTube and iHeartRadio, Spotify, all the podcast places.
We're everywhere. We try to be everywhere. So give us a listen. Last thing I want to say before we go, shout out to Third Eye Comics in Annapolis. Awesome comic book store. Went in there over the weekend. Great place. If you find yourself in Annapolis, need to visit some comics, definitely go see them there. So they're a great comic book store. After beyond that, you guys have a great night. And as always, this is the way.
This is the way.